And now, it's that time of the week once again. Welcome to the Departure Lounge podcast with your host, Tom Whittle, your ticket to the home of aviation podcasts. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to the show. We've been gone for 2 weeks. It feels like it's been forever, but hopefully you are well. We are here with episode number 92. I can see him doing it. Don't do it. Episode number 92 of the Departure Lounge podcast here on the Departure Lounge YouTube channel, and I hope you are well. Did you miss us? It's been 2 weeks or so. Even though I streamed yesterday a horrific landing in the C-17. If you haven't missed that, do follow that back on the channel after this stream. I plan on getting better. At some point, I'll tell you when. Anyway, enough about that. So we're here to play some Rate My Livery. First time this year that we're going to be doing this. I figure we're going to do it once a month. Not going to try and overkill it a little bit. But tonight's show is with somebody I've wanted to do this with for a while. And just sort of it really clicked into my head while we were trying to think of somebody to come onto the show. I was like, oh, actually, now's a really, really good time to do it. So now, thankfully, we can. I'll give you some clues. He's been gone for a while. He's the most northern guy I know. Tonight's guest in the hot seat for Rate My Liveries is...
Hey!
It's Ian Hartley. I've even got the graphic up. Hang on. You can tell I'm so out of sorts. There you go. Ian Hartley's on the show doing Rate My Liveries. Ian, good evening. How are you?
I'm very well, Tom. How are you? All right?
Yes, I'm looking forward to this a lot. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It's weird being sat here on the receiving end of it rather on the giving end of it, to be quite honest.
You are now sat in the hot seat. So lots of people, including MaxJet TV Live, who's been constantly, and oh my gosh, I mean constantly, asking for your return, now gets it. So, yes, so our very own Ian Hartley is here on the show. Firstly, did you have a nice Christmas and New Year?
I've had a fantastic Christmas, Tom, and I've had a fantastic New Year. I think I don't want to talk about downsides, but I've had to work over Christmas and New Year as well. But to celebrate, I'm off for 2 weeks now, starting from today.
Hey, lovely.
Yeah, I managed to get 2 weeks off work, so I'm off now. So, yeah. So, apart from that, brilliant Christmas, brilliant New Year. No grumbles whatsoever. What about you? You all right?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm all right. I've been off work for the last 6 weeks with my elbow, so fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah. How is it? All right now?
All good. Got physio in 2 weeks' time. No, next week. 18th. 10 days time.
Check your diary.
10 days time. So hopefully be back at work in the next week or two. So, yeah, looking forward to actually being back at work and not seeing the same four walls every day. Yeah. But no, other than that, Christmas was really, really good. New Year was a good laugh as well. Was very good. Obviously, spent it with Serena and
absolutely
Reese and the kiddies and stuff. So yeah, good fun. Yeah, really good fun.
Brilliant. Back to reality now, though.
Back to reality. It's weird how quick it's gone. Super, super quick. But next thing you know, it'll be Christmas 2023 anyway. So we'll be started doing a Christmas special, no doubt.
Yeah, that'll be it now, won't it? Yeah, the years just roll by. They really, really do. Last year's just gone in blink of an eye, hasn't it?
It's mental. It's absolutely crazy. Right, let's go into the show. Hopefully, everyone can see the rebrand logo there, and of course the new background on the screen as well. So we're freshening things up for 2023. But let's say hello to a few people first before we get into the housekeeping. So we'll do that first. So MaxJet TV Live, of course, is there. When isn't he? Hello to you. Martin Waldridge is there. He says evening.
Just as a footnote, if YouTube do Oscars, can we nominate Max Jet for one, please?
Yes. Oh my God, yes. And the Best Sneeze Award goes to.
He's a legend, honestly. If you haven't watched any of his videos, just go onto YouTube and find one of his many aliases and watch him.
Yes. There are many of them, so you'll be sport for choice. Lynn Keeble, hello to you. I'm just going to run through some names. Samuel Taylor Ackroyd is there. Hello to you. Wayne Hartshorn. Steve Plains is around this evening, so hello to you. Jack Rolls, of course. When he's not busy bonking APUs, he's here in the chat. Michael Painter is there. Jim Gemmell, as ever. Thank you very much for coming into the chat today. Tian Hartley, hello to you. Anybody else here that I'm looking for? Any new names? David Bone, hello to you. Seeing your name pop up there. Rob Brown Plain Spotting, hello to you. Carl Crawford, hello to you. Hello to everybody that will be joining us. Jim does say on what you've mentioned about MaxJet TV Live, legend isn't the word.
Well, perhaps not,
sure
but yeah.
I'm sure it's not.
Yeah, if you need a giggle, it's always good for a giggle, isn't it?
It's certainly good for something. Anyway, a little bit of housekeeping before we go into the show. So we're on social media. You can find them in the description below. This is for Jack. I've just literally seen the comment there. That C-17 APU is now smashed to bits after that landing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I bet he's gutted.
No, he's massively gutted. He was looking forward to that tonight. So we're on social media. You can find that in the description below. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, of course. I would promote the merch shop, but I'm having to rejig that because of the new logo. So everything's got to be redesigned, which I will do this week. And then obviously we'll go down the shop. We'll leave some of the old logo stuff on there as like retro shirts and stuff, but we'll have new shirts with this, not like that one. Not so much this one.
Well, now you mentioned the new logo, I'm looking for a refund.
Refund. You can have another one. You can have another one with a proper logo on it. But yeah, so I'll redesign some things as well. Maybe like the aircraft t-shirts and put the new logo on instead this time, and everyone can get a nice round logo on their mugs or something like that. Normally we promote the petition as well, but we don't need to because of the good news that came out over Christmas of a potential new site being found for the Cornwall Aviation Heritage Centre, which is on the site of the airport as well. So VC-10, BAC 111s, and all the aircraft there, like the Lightning and the Hunters, are all going to remain intact. So no one's getting scrapped.
That's fantastic news.
Happy days. So don't need to do that, but thank you everybody for the support on that push. It has worked. So wonderful. And lastly, if you want to be a guest on the show to do either Rate My Liveries or to come and chat to us about aviation or your channel or your love of aviation as a whole, get in touch. That's all you got to do. Get in touch. Plenty of space is free in 2023. Poet and don't even know it. And we'll get you in. Steve Plains, I've just seen that. Mate, that t-shirt is stunning. Who's a good-looking guy? Ian, I've been told your shopping videos make a housewife very happy.
I believe so. Yeah.
We'll talk about those at the end of the show because they are something to behold. Oh dear. Lots of people saying great news for Nuki. It is very, very good news. I'm hoping to get down there to watch the transfer happen as well. It'd be nice to see a VC-10 get taxied over to its new.
It was funny because I was reading before on internet about this thing what Branson's doing at Cornwall Airport, and it sort of grates on you a little bit because I think deep down you know inside that they've had to move that Cornwall Heritage Museum because I think it is because of what Branson's doing there, and it stinks. It really, really does. And I'm not going to go into it, but I don't understand what he's doing. But there you go. Yeah.
Well, again, we can also talk about that and how they've not so much fleeced the public and stuff. But I think it's more about the people that are like, oh, I'm so excited to go and see the rocket launch and everything else. It's like, mate, it's going to be after 10 o'clock. It's going to be dark. You're going to see nothing.
Yeah, is it 10:15 or something, the launch? What are they going to do?
Yeah, 10:15. The 747 is due to take off from Newquay, so you're not going to see much, like at all, unless I might see the rocket actually launch itself, like from my back garden, but that's it. Other than that,
well, on the only, I think I saw. Did I see the flight path where it takes them from Cornwall, flies down towards the coast of sort of Portugal, sort of that area? And are they not launching it sort of in that area, and it's going down towards the west coast of Africa or something?
I will find the flight
Atlantic
plan.
or something. I don't know.
I'll find it, or somebody like Jack or something can find the flight plan and send it to me on Facebook. So
I'm sure Jack will. Yeah.
Like I said, we'll talk about it at the end.
It's hardly NASA, is it?
For old time's sake, Rob Brown Plane Spotting would like you to do a Scottish accent, please.
Yeah, well.
No, Scottish, not Welsh.
I got myself a nice chutney for Christmas there now, Rob, so I did. A bit of Irish thrown in as well, just non-Scottish there.
By the Lord Jesus.
And I think we'll leave that there.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Wicked. Right, let's actually get into the show, shall we? Because otherwise we keep doing this all night.
I just also got another little bit of an interesting tale to tell as well. So I've not spoken to you for a while, and I know Steve were asking about it as well. But today, I was talking. I'm going to have to get more information. I was talking to my brother today, and we're talking about my uncle and this, that, and the other, and he was saying that one of my uncles, it was my grandma's brother, so it would have been a great uncle or whatever. I found out today that it was a fighter pilot in Second World War. And I also got told, well, my dad told me this when I was a kid, that he was a gunner in a Lancaster bomber back in Second World War. But it's always been sat in my head, but I always dismissed it. And then my brother started talking about it to me today, and we were talking about it and what have you. My uncle has told him the same story. And now they're sort of going off on a tangent. The guy who does the mascotting at Preston North End is a guy called Deepdale Duck. You know, the duck who prances round pitch and what have you. Well, he's into history and heraldry and what have you, and he has all these ancestry websites, and he's actually looking into our family tree because he's a mate of my brother's, you see. So he's actually looking into our family tree, and I found out that my great uncle, after he'd flown in Second World War, he used to do airshow circuits.
Oh, okay.
And he actually died crashing a plane at an airshow.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, that's my little story for today. So we're looking into it more, and I'm waiting for some information to come back. Then I'm going to do some digging myself and try and find out where it all happened. But I was quite surprised that there was such a sort of an aviation sort of bit of history back in my family. Well, I sort of had a niggling doubt there might have been, but it was all confirmed today, which were quite exciting.
I'm still trying to find ways of proving that I could be technically related to Frank Whittle, but it's a lost hope at the minute.
Do you know how to make a jet engine?
Yes.
All right, there you go then.
Yes.
You and Frank like that. You and Frank.
Me and Frank. Yeah, me and Frank.
You and Frank. Yeah.
I call him Frankie Boy. Like. Yeah.
Frank. Yeah.
Few names say hello to Darren Smith and my German's not great. Thomas Job. I've also forgot the name then. That's really bad of me. But Thomas Job is in the chat as well, saying, "Hi, all aviation names. Greetings, Thomas." Thank you very much. I felt like I was in trouble then. Right, let's go into it.
Plug his L shaft.
Well, yes.
Plug his L shaft.
I'm not even going to attempt it. It's fine. Right, so we're here to play Rate My Liveries. And, of course, before we do so, it is, of course, Savage Sunday, as I give it the name, because it's time to break out the Savage. Ian has provided me with 10 of his favourite liveries that he could think of, which literally took him about a week to do. But there's some really cracking ones in there. Eh?
Sorry, my computer's just decided that it needs to update with me.
No worries. Is he?
I'll tell you what.
I'll keep going.
It's all right. He's asking me to schedule a restart.
Oh, right. Okay, no, that's fine. Right, no. So Ian's provided 10 liveries of his vote. There are some ones that we haven't had before and ones that we have. But there are some absolute crackers in there. And without further ado, we're going to start off with one that was around for the Olympics in London in 2012. idiot. 2012, and it is, of course, the British Airways. I suppose you'd call it like the Olympic torch livery thing, sort of plane.
I take it you're not a fan then, Tom, are you?
No, I couldn't find the name of what it was called, so I
Right.
do like it. I should know because I've got a model of it. But yeah, or as Darren Smith has nicely put, the flying egg yolk.
Yeah, it's easy giving it names, isn't it, and calling it and slagging it off and all the rest of it. But I think it's just a lovely looking plane. It's just like I say with the Olympic flame. I just think it's nice how the darkness of the yellows and sort of mustardy colours sort of fade away into the whites of the back. And I think it's I think it represented us doing the Olympics a lot more than what the was it the Dove, the other one, what they had.
Oh, the Dove, yes.
Yeah, they did the Dove as well, didn't they? So, which was also a nice looking aircraft, but I don't think it was as nice as this. And I think the yellows what are on it they just sort of catch me eye. It sort of gives it a warm glow, and I think it's just I think it just makes the plane look really nice. So that's why I chose that particular livery.
So that Dove livery that you mentioned was around until sort of late 2018, because you and I saw that at Manchester, didn't we?
We did see it at Manchester, yeah.
You were surprised to still see it.
It was a really, really nice livery. I don't know why they can't keep them. They were talking about on news the other day about the after the Olympics have happened, and there's meant to be this massive thing about sports and all this, that, and the other. That everything just fizzles away and just disappears. Where they could keep it alive just by keeping a couple of liveries on the. Keep the dream alive just by keeping the liveries on the planes, for instance. It's sort of, when you look at it, it sort of refreshes you and goes back to the good old days of the Olympics back in 2012. Yeah, I think it's a lovely looking plane, that.
Steve Plains, it doesn't excite me. Sorry if my yolk cracks you up. Get in the bin.
Yeah.
I can imagine him sitting at home now, just like laughing his head off at the moment.
I think our brains are going to be scrambled by him by end of today. There's another one.
No.
Yeah. And I don't know where he's poaching his jokes from.
Oh, move on quick.
Move on
quick. Move on quick. Right, yes. So for those that don't quite know what we do after this, now, obviously, I should have done that before we brought the picture up, but Ian will tell us why he likes the particular liveries that he has chosen. Then we'll go through the chat, see what your thoughts are, and then we'll give a rating out of 10, see what you think in the comments out of 10, and see just how savage or how nice you can be by giving a rating out of 10 as well. So let's go into the comments. I'll take that off the screen just for the second. Just while we go through the chat. There are lots of comparisons after Darren Smith's flying egg yolk. MaxJet TV Live, don't see the resemblance, but maybe. The flying breakaway chocolate bar. Someone's been eating too many.
I've not seen a breakaway chocolate bar for years.
Yeah, breakaway. Lovely.
I think Max has bought them all, hasn't he?
Used to have those in my lunchbox going to school. Jack Rolls, what sort of chicken did that come out of? Must have gone for a hard-boiled Labour. I think that's his attempt at a joke, which unfortunately gets a massive from me. Darren Smith saying it was a rare livery, was only around for a few months, while the Doves were around for years.
That's a good point. Yeah. I think there was only one with the sort of the Olympic torch livery, but were there two or three of the Dove? There were a couple, weren't there?
There were a few. Yeah, there was a few. About two or three, I'd say.
Yeah.
Bloody PC wants to turn itself off again. So yeah, that's quite interesting. I only ever saw it or caught it once, so it's kind of like one of a once in a lifetime.
Absolutely,
catches.
yeah.
But MaxJet TV Live's gone for banana milkshake. Rob Brown playing spotting says fuselage okay, but mustard engines look like the night after beer and a Vindaloo. Oh God.
Yeah,
I didn't read
that. That's why no one goes to Scotland for holidays.
Yeah,
that's what your Vindaloos are like.
Is it? Yeah, deep fried Vindaloo.
Yeah, deep fried Vindaloo. Batty's been
Well, a
diluted, mate.
£10 Scottish note, yeah. Thomas Job saying enough years that he didn't catch the dove from above, didn't get an opportunity to catch it.
No.
Michael Painter took a few pictures of this. I personally wish the yellow had carried on to the flag tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could sort of see that because you could have it as like the gold then, like for the Olympic gold sort of thing. Lynn Keeble likes the fuselage, but doesn't like the engines.
Yeah, I think it should just make a good point there. I don't think the mustard engines do it any justice, to be fair. It was only after a second look when I read that comment that perhaps the engines could have been yellow rather than mustard colour, I think, to be quite honest. Because you've got the dark yellow fading away, and as it fades away, it's just the engines just hit you, don't they? As it's fading into lighter yellow.
Do you know what the weird thing is I've never noticed that until today. I've literally discovered that now, that the engines are actually darker.
Yeah.
That is strange.
Yeah. Same as, it was what brought my attention to it, yeah. So
where is it? It's gone now. Darren Smith, a man with very useful information, saying that there were 4 doves.
All right, happy days.
And then obviously people giving their ratings. Steve Plains cracking out the jokes again. I'll chuck my one in there. Does it have a yoke or a side stick? Jim Gemmell. Jim Gemmell says engines are done to match the Speedbird logo.
Yep, I noticed that as well. Yeah, the Speedbird logo's mustard too.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
Last comment, and then we'll go on to the ratings. Darren Smith has the spirit of an egg. Spirit Airlines. Wonderful. All right. Put your ratings in the chat. A few people have done that already, but we'll get on to them in a second. Ian, out of 10. I'll bring it up on the screen again.
Well, as so many people are cracking egg jokes, I'd probably just say about 3.5 minutes on a rolling boil out of 10.
Unless you're Jack Rolls and you leave it in the microwave for 40 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, very true. No, I'm going to give it a strong. I don't know. I really do like it. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 because I really do like that plane. It's a lovely livery. It really is.
8.5, starting strong, which is good.
Definitely, yeah.
It's good. Before we go through, I should probably have mentioned this as well. Before we go through the ratings that you guys have picked, I will just point out there is a poll in the chat to pick the aircraft for next weekend's Flight Sim stream, or as I like to call them, which airplane would you like me to bin next week? There are a choice of 4, the A320neo 777, the Dash 7, which is an interesting one, and the 747-8 as well. They will determine, of course, where we fly. Fly to.
That 747-800 is an absolute nightmare to fly on fly. So.
It's all right if you have a few mods and stuff like I have. I've modded it to a point where you can fly it now. It's
all right.
Not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. There are other variations of it, but we'll go into that off camera. But yes, all right. Jack Rolls, honestly, after your last landing, I don't think a back brace will be enough. Watch your words, boy. I'm coming after you. Maybe I'll bin the plane into your house next. We'll see. Right, let's have a look. So, Ian with a strong 8.5 out of 10 to start.
Just while you're doing that, Tom, I just need to nip blue, mate. I won't be a sec.
Go off you go.
All right.
No, be right back on this channel. Absolutely not. Just say it as it is. He's gone. Right, we'll go for the ratings here. So Wayne Hartshorn gives it a 5 out of 10. Says it looks like it flew headfirst into a yellow Patriot. Is that something? Patriot? One of the two. Michael Painter, 7.5 out of 10. Decent score. Samuel Taylor Ackroyd gives it a 3 because yellow does not look good on a B8 aircraft, but it's a special livery for a big event and effort for making the livery. Fair play. Carl Crawford, the engine colour is horrible, so I'd give it a 7. Lynn Keeble, giving it a 4 out of 10. Rob Brown Planespotting with his own tribute to Jack Rolls gives it a 2 out of 10. Jim Gemmell gives it a 5 out of 10. Engine spoiler, and the tail should have been yellow to match. That would have been really cool, actually. Yellow and gold. That would have been really, really nice to see. Hey, Hoppy's back. Hope you flushed.
We went for number 1.
Oh, lovely.
Don't waste water up north.
Fair enough. Be boiling that in the kettle for your cup of tea next.
Well, you said it before. Yeah, I was thinking that. You said it before I had chance.
Jim Gemmel's just comment here. I just want to grab your thoughts on it. The yellow should have been on the tail to match.
Nah.
Not for you?
Nah, not for me, no. I think I always think on a livery, I think that the tail has got to still represent what the airline is. So I think the tail should never be touched, personally.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
MaxJet TV Live doing MaxJet TV Live things, 10 out of 10. Darren Smith gives it 7. David Bone gives it a 9. Martin Waldridge gives it a 4. So your comment there of saying it's a nightmare to fly is like, okay, everybody choose the Queen, says Jim Gemmell. I don't mind. Rob Brown, I mean, you lot are terrible. Next week's air crash investigation featuring Tom flying the ... Rotten. Absolutely rotten. I think that's it. That's the lot. I got thrown off then by everybody mocking my landings. Thank you very much. If you can do a better job, please send a video to me. I won't watch it.
Yeah. Did you? I think you saw my landing at Bournemouth Airport, didn't you, the other day in that 320?
And we have it here tonight. We don't. I mean, I could just for
no.
I mean,
I could never get my head around flight sim, and now I've actually playing it on my Xbox rather than playing it on a laptop. It's same kind of game, but I just can't do it just yet. I will get there. I can't do it.
You understand? I'm now having to get this looked at for the end of the show, so people can just compare the two, right?
Yeah, it's all right. I don't mind. I
think it's only fair. I'll look at that as we do the next one anyway. Let's get on to that next one. Now, next one, I half expected you to have picked, and you didn't let me down on this one. And this is the only picture that obviously you and I could find of it showing both sides.
Yeah.
It is, of course, the United Airlines Star Wars livery, which is on their 737, which I don't think is actually around anymore. I think it's been repainted. But, I mean, barring the obvious of you being a massive Star Wars fan, I was about to say Trekkie then, just to wind you up, and I won't.
No. I don't mind Star Trek, to be honest, but a proper Star Wars geek, yeah.
Proper Star Wars geek. Apart from being a geek, why did you pick this one?
I mean, you just have to look at it, to be honest. Even if you don't like Star Wars, I mean, looking at it just as a non-Star Wars or science fiction fan, I suppose, just actually looking at the livery, I mean, it's just a lovely looking livery, isn't it? Just a spacey night sky with stars dotted outside with the United livery on. I think it's a smart looking plane. Apart from it advertising, obviously, the dark side and the light side of Star Wars on either side of the plane. I went through the Star Wars planes. I mean, the ANA planes and things like that. We see 3PO and R2D2. And this was definitely the best out of the bunch, to be quite honest. I think it's a lovely looking plane. You've got to admit it. And the fact that it's Star Wars is just a bonus on top of that as well. It's fantastic.
I do like what they've done with it. Obviously, it's not easy to paint planes up nowadays. Obviously, with the prices and things like that. I've just found your video, so that's fine. We'll do that at the end. It's actually the representation, like you say, of the blue one side, red the other side, and the fact that they have painted the plane not just a standard black color, but they've also made it like space. And things like that. So they've really thought it through. I think it's to promote the new film at the time.
It would have been, it would have been one of the later ones because the lightsaber on the dark side is the lightsaber of Kylo Ren there. So yeah, it would have been one of the later ones, episode 7, 8, or 9. Probably 7. I think it's The Force Awakens, isn't it? Episode 7.
I don't know. I don't watch Star Wars.
yeah. And just as a footnote, on Disney Plus, there's a name's just gone from my head. There's a series about where the rebellion started. It's called Andor, and some of it was filmed in Cleveland, which is just off coast next to Blackpool. So it's just up the road. And I remember when they were filming it, the security around there was massive, so you could never get anywhere near it to where they were actually filming. But when I've actually watched the series on Disney Plus, it's really cool because obviously a lot of it's like computer generated sort of backgrounds and what have you, but there's still a lot of the features what they've left, what are actually in Cleveland, what are actually added into the actual episode of Star Wars, which is really cool because I can go there and be part of that's what you get for being a geek, isn't it? I suppose getting excited when you see somewhere where they filmed a bit of Star Wars. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right, let's have a look and see what you lot think in the chat. I've not looked at it because I was too busy looking for Ian's landing that he sent me. So I'm actually looking forward to showing that now because maybe I'll stop getting mocked. Let's have a look here. Okay, so we've got a couple of people here that are enjoying it. Carl Crawford with a few sick faces.
Oh, come on. even if you're not a fan of Star Wars, you can't say it's not a bad livery. And to say it's giving it 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm just going to point this out. He said maybe Petter from Mental Pilot will cover Tom's crash landing in an upcoming video. If someone could ban him, that'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Yes. Mind you, if it blows the channel up, I'll go for it.
Ooh.
It's all about the views, everyone. David Bone says, impressive livery, but a lot of work to apply, I imagine. So like pretty much what we were saying with painting it and things like that, when it just trying to get it looking the way it does is cost effective. That's what it is. It's very costly. So that's probably why it went around for very long. Other than that, lots of people. Rob Brown Planesporting, a stellar livery.
Ooh, yeah. Steve Plains makes a good reference there with Rogue One was a Star Wars film.
Yeah, bit of a Rogue One. This
bit of a Rogue One. Yeah.
Martin Waldridge says, "No thanks. The Empire Strikes Cack." You, my friend, get a star. That is the comment of the night by now. It set Ian off. I'm so glad I never thought of that before. It's such an easy one as well. Brilliant. I like that. That is fantastic.
Oh dear.
The Empire Strikes Cack. Well done, you. Comment of the night so far. Farang Travel says hello. Say hello to you. I see you popping in. Wayne Hartshorn says, did the aircraft get repainted on the 4th of April? I believe it did. It got repainted. I'm sure it did because there was a lot of commotion about the fact that it had gone to somewhere in America. Someone was saying it's either maintenance or someone was saying it was getting repainted back into the standard livery.
Was not meant to be May the 4th, not May the 4th of April. May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
I know of May the 4th and things like that, but yeah. Don't know, I just thought it was a genuine question.
All right.
I'm saying, anything Star Wars, you can literally tell me it and I'll fall for it and I'll be like,
fair enough.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Jar Jar Binks is actually a woman. Yeah, probably. I have no idea.
Well, yeah.
Right, let's before we get into the ratings and stuff. Ian, out of 10?
Yeah. I've never given a plane a 10 out of 10 ever on the My Liveries. So I'm not going to start now. So I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10 because I do love it, but it's still not a 10.
So what did you? I phased out then. What did you give it?
All right, I'm going to say in all my times doing the departure lounge, I've never given an aircraft a 10 out of 10 on a rate my livery. And I'm not going to start by doing it now, so I'm going to give it 9.5.
Brilliant. Why break tradition?
Yeah. Well, it's not a 2 anywhere, Jack.
Yeah, no one's as daft as you, Jack. 2 out of 10 and leaving microwavable meal in the oven for 40 minutes. Or no, in the microwave for 40 minutes. Right, let's start it with some of the ratings that you lot have given it. So, the first one, and of course, someone had to do it. And if I was going to back anybody to do it, it'd be Rob Brown Plane Spot at a 7.37 out of 10. On the flip side to that, Michael Painter says not for me, 4 out of 10.
Fair enough.
MaxJet TV giving it a 737 out of 12. Link Keeble gives it a 7 out of 10. Farring Travels does what you didn't do, gives it a 10.
Oh.
Carl Crawford gives it a 7. Samuel Taylor Ackroyd, obviously a Star Wars fan as well.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Wayne Hartshorn, 8 out of 10 just for the effort. Jim Gemmell gives it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Jack Rolls obviously thinks this is an episode of Maury Povich.
You're not the father.
You're not the father.
I think Jack needs to watch Star Wars a few more times.
I wish I had the perfect clip to more go, you are not the father. Oh, dear. Darren Smith, 8 out of 10. Jack Fine.
Fair play. It's getting a lot of love, isn't it?
It's getting a lot of love. Yeah. David Bone, I think if he was doing a star system, he'd give it 4 out of 5. Steve Plains, Return of the 6th out of 10.
Return of the Sith. Yeah, well done. I think Steve's been Googling Star Wars film episodes.
He's literally sat there, he's lapping it up, waiting for it. Tian Harley, 6 out of 10 on that last one as well. Cracking show this. I do enjoy doing these. It's so funny. Right, so that's that one out the way. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 to go. I don't know why I had to count that then. It was just, I felt like I had to. Right, next one. We've had this one a couple of times, but we'll get your opinion on it because I've seen you put it in the chat before. Now you get an opportunity to actually vocally talk about it. It is, of course, the Etihad Green Liner. Seems to be a lot of love for this one for a lot of people. Obviously, we had this one and we had another one which we had to drop because obviously I didn't realize you were talking about both of them together. But I suppose you can. I think people know the British Airways one and sort of the cause that has. But why did you pick this one?
I mean, the Etihad liveries is a nice livery anyway. But the same livery in them particular shades of blue, I think it's just an absolutely stunning plane. I really, really do. I think the plane is definitely it's a proper eye catcher. I don't know whether it's just because it's a one of a kind, but I think if Etihad did a dozen planes that colour, I think they'd always be eye catching. To be quite honest, but also as well, what they're actually trying to do as well ethically, it's you've got to take your hats off to people like Etihad and to British Airways as well for making where we just sit here looking at liveries and just making a bit of a laugh and a joke about them and things like that, saying the nicest thing we don't like them. But there's a bigger story back of why that plane's that particular colour as well. And I think it's important that plane is that specific colour and the message what it's trying to promote. I think it's quite an important message. For sake of planet more than anything else. And I just think that they've done a stunning job in creating an aircraft. What people, it catches people's eyes, and they also talk about the story and what they're trying to promote behind it as well. So I think it's not just the livery, but it's actual the backstory behind it as well. I think with that one, but it is a stunning looking plane as well.
It's not anything too difficult, really. It's just choosing a different color, isn't it? That's all it is. Just choosing a different color to paint the livery.
That's pretty much what they've done. Yeah.
And of course, there's a big connection between obviously Boeing and Etihad with sort of trying to fly economically and
absolutely
trying to find sort of biofuel flight and things like that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And I've also liked, I'll start again. I'll get me bloody words out. The Dreamliner, where it says Dreamliner behind the wings. I've always liked where it always says Dreamliner on the planes, even though everyone knows what they are. But I've always liked the way it's put Dreamliner with a little crescent moon in the middle. I've always thought that were a nice touch me on Dreamliners.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that still eludes me, even since going back towards the conversation that we had with Sam or Mark II Photography when she was on, and I had mentioned that it still eluded me for the fact that I still haven't got it and things like that, and the fact still remains as well. So I'd like to be able to get this at some point, but it is a nice sort of shade of green as well, because you could have gone out there and picked a really horrible, let's say like a Christmas tree green, or like a standard color green. So if someone says green to you, you think green grass, that kind of color, and it probably wouldn't have looked as good. Whereas this is kind of like, it's a bit more, without trying to make the pun, it does look a bit cleaner to be this color.
And I think that's why they've actually done it that color, to be quite honest. It's a very clean color. It's very sort of, I don't know, glacial, if that's a term, if you know what I mean, but it is very clean and pure, isn't it? That kind of color.
Yeah, it's minty.
Yeah.
minty.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. It's a Flying Fox's Glacier mint.
Oh, that's it. It's not a Glacier Cherry though, is it?
That's a separate podcast for a separate day, Tom.
Absolutely. We had them in the
that could be my next video. I'm just making note of that. Could be my next YouTube video.
I'm going to put that in the chat afterwards and see what people think. But I did it in the snowballs over Christmas and stuff, and Serena was going to get a picture and send it to you. I said, no, you don't want to do that.
No. I tell you what,
don't ruin his Christmas by sending him that.
If that would have been me, mate, she would have been my ex-girlfriend now. No offense, Serena, if you're listening.
Brilliant. I like it. Right, let's have a look and see what people say. I've lost where I've got to. Right, David Bone says strong peppermint vibes. Carl Crawford says absolutely awesome livery, the green liner. MaxJet TV Live says green beans livery for the looks of it. It's not quite green bean. Darren Smith says, does this 787 run on chip fat? Wayne Hartshorn gives it a stunning. It says a stunning looking aircraft. It is. I'm a 350 fan over a 787, but there's something about this that's just nice. I think it looks better.
We've talked about millions of times in the past, haven't we, about how Dreamliners really struggle when it comes to liveries. But that carries it real, and I think the Etihad liveries do carry really well on Dreamliners, don't they?
They do, yeah. Obviously, they've got 9s and 10s in their fleet, and the 9s look good, and the 10s look good as well. So it's kind of one of those rare occasions where it is one of those liveries that does actually work. It's very nice. Yeah, it's very nice.
It's lovely. It really is.
Lynn Keeble says, I love this one just for the colour, if nothing else. Rob Brown Plane Spotting says, a splash of colour on the engines, perhaps?
Nah, I would have left. No, leave them white.
Leave them as they are?
Definitely for me, yeah.
Jack Rolls says, that is some livery and a great cause. It's also like the Eco Demonstrator, but they use that on the 777. Which is what Boeing used now. They've used decommissioned 777s to do the whole eco flight thing.
Yeah.
Rob Brown Plane Spotting. If Glacier Mints did chutney for everything else, there's MasterCard. Other cards are available, of course.
Yeah.
And Darren Smith saying that all Etihad fleet have white engines, which is
there
why
you go. Yeah. That's a fun fact, isn't it? Yeah, we're aware of that.
Lots of people giving the rating I would have half expected people to give, which I will read out shortly. But before we do, Ian, on this one, what's your rating out of 10?
Again, I'm going to give it a good 8 out of 10 because I picked it and I think it's a lovely looking aircraft. So yeah,
Brilliant.
8 out
So
of
8
10.
out of 10 from Ian. Let's see what you lot have put. And we'll go for the first one, which is Somatel Aqua gives it a strong 9 out of 10.
Yeah, fair play.
Not just him, but Wayne Hartstrong also says it gets a tree bore, 9 out of 10. Tree bore, which of course is what backwards?
Robert?
Yes. Fun fact, just
All right,
there might
okay.
be people out there that might not
Oh,
know.
I'm waiting for a bit of a backstory then with that, but
No, I know nothing about tree bore. No,
all
so
right, fair enough.
just every time I see it, it's like, oh yeah, it's Robert
Well,
backwards.
all the Mentos aren't the ones you put in Coke.
Mentos, yeah, the one that
Well,
goes
there you
in
go.
Coke
Maybe
and
that's
Coke.
the way forward. Maybe they could fill the fuel tanks up with Coke, pop a couple of Mentos in the engines, and off they go.
Wonder what the range is like on that though.
I don't know, about 3 yards.
500 milliliter bottle for short haul.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Sellotape one to each wing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just
Get
pop
you to
a
Spain.
Mentos in there. Yeah, beautiful. Just off you go.
Off you go.
It's the future of fighter jets as well. Just drop one of those bad boys on somewhere. Just watch that thing explode.
Yeah, bloody hell, yeah.
Michael Painter says it's okay. The Flying Mint yet to photo it 8 out of 10. Link Keeble gives it a 9 out of 10. The sensible ones come to an end after this one, with Carl Crawford giving it a 9.5 out of 10. Then we go on to the ones I expected, which is Rob Brown Play Sporting gives it a 7th of October. Yep, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Then the usual suspects, Jack Rolls gives it a 787 out of 10.
Yeah.
MacChat TV Live gives it a full house, 787 out of 787.
Good shout.
Then we go back to normal. Jim Gimmel, 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And Darren Smith gives it an 8 out of 10. And David Bone at the end. I like it. It's worthy of a 9th of October.
That's fair dues, yeah.
9 out of 10. Beautiful. All right. So before we go on to the next one, if you want to support the channel, you can drop us a super chat as well. It all goes back into the channel. It doesn't go anywhere else. Obviously, it's never shoved down anyone's throats like other people seem to like to do, but it's always done on a voluntary basis. So if you don't feel bad. It's not an issue. Next one is an interesting one. We spoke about this one back when we did the show on the 3 airline alliances, which of course is Star Alliance, One World, and SkyTeam. You had the wonderful pleasure of having to research this one, and you've told us that you like the livery of this one, and you've chosen a particular airline because it's for you. This is kind of like it's quite nice in your terms. It's the SkyTeam livery, not so much the Air France. It's the SkyTeam livery, which again is an interesting one to pick. But what say you? How come you picked this one?
What say me? Right, I remember being at Manchester Airport one day, and it was either its first or its second maiden flight, and it was HEPI, I think it were, which is probably the one you've got on screen in front of you now. And it was a SkyTeam Air France A320. And I remember it landing. It was absolutely brand spanking new. It was absolutely gleaming. It was immaculate. And I sort of just fell in love with it there and then. And it's just always been there as one of the best liveries I've ever seen, to be quite honest. And I just think it just looks absolutely stunning. It's got a lot of class about it, don't you think? I mean, you look at your Star Alliances with a plain white. I mean, I've nothing against Star Alliance. I mean, with your plain white fuselage, because I was going to pick an Air India Star Alliance plane because I actually like the little minarets, I think they call them, don't they, above the windows. But there's nothing like the SkyTeam livery. It was the Star Alliance, which was just plain white with Star Alliance down the side and a black tail, and then you've got the One World livery, which is just a One World livery, and then you've got the SkyTeam livery, where they've actually made an effort and made the plane look like something. If you had that sat next to a normal Air France plane, besides it being the exact same plane doing the exact same job, with the exact same seating, with the exact same everything about it, I think you still want to get in the SkyTeam plane just because it looks that little bit nicer and it looks that little bit classier, and that's why I like it. I just think it looks really classy and smart.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting ones of Alliance liveries. Again, we spoke about it on an earlier show. Don't remember which one that was, but sort of back in the early days, I think, before we even did the video side of it. And we spoke about, obviously, like Star Alliance. They've got their their livery now of just billboard titles of Star Alliance with a black tail and a star on it. Before that, they had the founding members of the Star Alliance with sort of the plane cut up into
of
the aircraft, and of course whichever airline it flew for, that livery was at the front. That was a really cool livery. That was one of those bizarre ones that was very, very weird. It threw me off when I was younger, seeing those like 767s and A340s in those liveries. It was strange, very, very bizarre. But there's something about the SkyTeam one that I get like, and God forgive me for saying it. Now, my friends, it very much reminds me of like Aeroflot because of the silver livery and the sort of the dark blue tail, and I try and get that out of my head because it's kind of everyone has their own unique take on it. But I don't think there's a particular plane that this doesn't look good on. No. Despite the fact it's an Alliance livery, I don't think there's a particular plane. There's a lot of people saying that it looks good on like the Embraer 190 for KLM.
Yeah, I can imagine it would do. Yeah,
and it looks good on the KLM 777 as well. I mean, you go through all the all the ones off your top of your head. There's a Delta 757, 737. Off top of your head, there SkyTeam, China Airlines, Korean Air, etc. There's, I mean, even the 747 had it as well. But it was with China Airlines. So
absolutely,
it's a livery that's very simple. It does what it needs to. It tells you who it's for, but it also advertises as well at the same time that this is the airline alliance that people want to be joining. And of course, as Wayne Hartshorn said, Virgin Atlantic, of course, are the most recent
absolutely
to join them as well.
I'd say what it'd be nice if they did a 350 in it, wouldn't it?
Is there a 350 in it already? I think there is.
Is there?
Not for Virgin, but
no. I was going to say, particularly saying you look at your Embraers and your little 320s and what have you. Even if you took the SkyTeam off and took the Air France off, you'd think if you saw that landing without any logos on it at all, you'd think some Saudi prince were coming to stay over or something, wouldn't you?
You'd imagine it was like a
private jet, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like a royal plane, so to speak. But I do have a picture actually. It's the airline is Vietnam. Vietnam Airlines. I'll just load on the screen now so you can see it. There we go. So that's the 350 in the SkyTeam livery for Vietnam Airlines.
Yeah, it don't look as nice, does it?
No, I think it looks all right. For me, I like the little logo at the back of the plane. That adds a little something. If you took that away, it is pretty boring, but that adds something for me. But this is what we're looking at.
Yeah. I prefer the little Air France one. I don't know whether as well we've. I'm quite fond of 319s and 320s wearing nice logos as well. I think the smaller planes, when they're a little bit more compact, sometimes they can wear a special livery a little bit nicer than what bigger planes can, can't they? I think it's more compact, isn't
it? Just quickly shout out Jack Rolls with a super chat. Thank you very much. As for the great content, as always, here's a little something and a massive shout out to you both, two legends.
Cheers, Jack.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Jack Rolls, JR Aviation Photography. You want to sort that name out too. But no, much appreciated. Like I say, if anyone wants to follow in Jack's footsteps, you can. It's never forced. So it's always appreciated. Like I say, it'll go straight back into the channel. Darren Smith disagrees with you, says that the Vietnam one was a nice A350.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are saying, or especially Wayne Hartshaw, would be nice to get Virgin's 330 Neo potentially in that SkyTeam livery
that'd
as
be
well.
nice.
Virgin logo.
Definitely. Yeah.
That would be quite cool to see, actually.
Yeah. I'm a bit concerned about Mac Jets TV's comment. Never, remind me never go round to his house for a brew if that's what colour his milk is.
Looks pretty milky colour. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's a bad brew.
It is a very bad brew,
It's a very, very rare brew. That's one of those brews you look at and you think, I will not drink that.
Yeah.
That's the comment I needed. Tom Smith. I don't know if you've been around before. If you're not, happy first time coming to the channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. I think Air New Zealand's all-black Star Alliance scheme looks a lot better than the original Alliance scheme, which, of course, the Air New Zealand one is completely all-black, as opposed to sort of black tail, white body.
Yeah. I think I'd agree with him there when it comes to Star Alliance. Yeah, but I think the Air New Zealand's livery is a stunner anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Air New Zealand. It's a shame they don't come to Heathrow no more, but yeah, so it's a lovely livery. It really is.
Yeah.
Wicked. All right, let's take a pause. Let's see what people are saying in the chat about the SkyTeam livery. Of course, like I said, people. There's a comment there, or two comments I've seen actually that mention something. I'll show that in a second. So David Bone was the one that said it looked good on the KLM Embraer 190. The ones that I want to kind of quickly discuss are from Steve Plains, which I'll read out, who says it's loads better than the One World livery on the British Airways 777. The new one is a shocker, which is echoed by Darren Smith, saying that the One World BA 777-200 livery looks a joke compared to the Sky Team. I hate what they've done with the 777. I hate it. It's very easy, and it shouldn't be that difficult. If you've got like American Airlines, you look at how their 777 looks. It looks fine. It looks absolutely, it looks fine. It does what it needs to. Everything's in proportion. Very nice. You look at British Airways, and it's like somebody forgot to zoom in, or somebody forgot to enlarge, or something like that, and it looks horrific compared to what it was on the 747s, and of course, like any other 777 operator of a One World airline that's got it. It's bad. It's so bad what they've done.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah,
I think it seems to be. Is it they call it is it IAG Group who are British Airways? That's who they are now, and I think that's sort of their attitude towards their product in general. I think, isn't it? It's lost its heart, if you ask me. You know what I mean? It's lost its meaning, and it's lost its. I don't know. It's just become a label, hasn't it? It's just become a brand, hasn't it? And that's it. And I think they're treating it now, aren't they?
I don't think we're the only ones to think that. I think that's why a lot of people are going towards Virgin, and why there's a lot of Virgin adverts on telly.
Yeah.
I am virtually the same. I see Virgin as kind of like the big guns now, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's not because of like Allison or anything else like that. That's just my own personal opinion. I do think, despite the fact that I've got this, I'm still waiting for Allison to replace it, but but it's still it's, for me, you see a lot more Virgin and what they're doing as a product, as well as like opening themselves up, putting television adverts out of the accepting of people no matter what background you're from, LGBT and all that sort of thing. You don't really see much from British Airways now, and it's like, for me, if I'm going to start thinking, right, I want to fly to New York, who do I pick? Do I pick Virgin? Do I pick British Airways? My mind's instantly going to go, no. And I'm going to go, I want to fly on Virgin.
Yeah. I think Virgin just offer a better product, don't they? To be quite. I mean, I don't know whether you've seen it or whether other people have seen it as well, but there was the Jeb Brooks comparison, weren't there? And he compared Virgin with British Airways, didn't he? And he said as well, didn't he? Virgin hands down, didn't he? That it was Virgin. Yeah, and like you say about the the acceptance of LGBT communities and things like that is it's just something what you don't see with British Airways. Like British Airways has just become It reminds me of what sort of Ford became in the 90s and the early 2000s, where everything just became a product. It just became a sterile thing. And because the name is that well etched into people's heads, that people just think that they're getting a good product. And it turned out that they weren't. And then there were other like manufacturers in background or other brands in the background who were trying to replace what BA, for instance, are doing now. And to be fair to them, they're doing a fantastic job. Yeah.
Yeah. It's what it reminds me of. I don't want to slag them off, obviously, but it's like it's almost like they're just there.
Yeah.
Whereas now
they're a part of folklore, aren't they? They're part of what the UK is, isn't it? It's. I mean, you've got a tail behind the back of your head there, haven't you? And I've got. I've got a Dreamliner up here, and I've got a 747 on the shelf across there, a British Airways one. A couple of my planes I've picked tonight are all British Airways, so they've just become parcel of the United Kingdom, haven't they? And they are just literally, aren't they? Yeah,
they're just there. A lot of people obviously have had some real negative thoughts as well about the new uniforms and stuff like that. If you haven't seen them, oh boy,
yeah, I haven't seen them. No,
yeah, oh boy, is it something? But yeah, I don't know what they've tried to do there. People saying that it looks horrible. Literally looking at. Just literally looked at all the comments and stuff. People go, "Oh, uniforms horrific and horrible and everything else." So, yeah, fair enough. It's a strange one. It's a strange time to be in at the minute with sort of British Airlines at the minute with just like Virgin throwing out massive like adverts and accepting all the LGBT and things like that. And there's not really been, because you'd have thought with the whole because there was a whole thing during COVID, wasn't there, about like British Airways. I'm trying to think what it was now. I'm sure there was like negative press, and they've not really done much to kind of redeem themselves since.
I don't think they have to. I think the problem is, and people's perception. People have got very, very, very short memories in this country, and it's not just about airlines. It's about pretty much everything. We all have very, very short memories, and we forget what happened yesterday, and we forget what people do, and it's like you'll know, Tom, being a football supporter. Your football manager could win every single trophy for the last 5 years, and if he has a run of 5 bad games, then you want him sacked. You know what I mean?
Don't talk to me about football.
Well, no, it's just that kind of attitude, isn't it? That's what I mean. People have got very short memories, and they sort of live for the moment. I think that's what British Airways are doing. They've got such a massive history, and they've got such a massive following, and they've got, I mean, and to be fair, they haven't really got a lot of competition either, have they? When it comes to flying over the Atlantic, they are needed, and they are always going to be full, and they're always going to be Heathrow Airport's biggest customer, aren't they? That's never going to change, is it?
No, Jack, that's not memory loss, Jack. That's just stupidity. Leaving a microwave mill in for 40 minutes.
That's just stupidity, yeah. In fact, I can safely say that your microwave runs longer than Jack's memory does.
Runs longer than Jack, full stop.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jim Gummel with, I think, a very poignant point of BA took a step backwards on the 24th of October 2003 and have been going downhill ever since. Why is that date so significant?
I'm going to say World Tales or something. I don't know. What
no, that's when they retired Concorde.
Oh, is it? All right. Okay, fair enough.
Or that is when they retired Concorde. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
it's a good point as well, because from that day they became from an absolutely unique carrier having the Concorde to just everybody else, didn't they?
Pretty much, that's what I'm saying.
Again, back in them days, there were no massive competition, were there? I mean, Aer Lingus as well flying across the Atlantic as well now, aren't they? And everybody else are at it, aren't they? So there's plenty to go, isn't there?
Let's have a look at the ratings, then we'll crack on with the rest of what we've got here. So Wayne Hartshorn gives it a 9.5 out of 10. Farring Travels also 9 out of 10. Wayne Hartshorn says that he can't give a 10 out of 10. Max has the score copyrighted. It's quite fun. Rob Brown Plain Spotting gives it a 7. Martin Waldridge gives it a 6. Sam Samuel Taylor Ackroyd gives it a 9. Paul Hussey gives an 8 out of 10, but the Vietnam 350 looked better.
I disagree with that.
Steve's off for crumpets. Nice bit of crumpet. He's back in 5.
Yeah. I'll take that as a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'll give that
a Jack then says, just don't burn them, Steve. I'm sure he won't because you're not cooking them. Just a quick one. I don't want to ignore the question because it has been put in there from Farang Travels. Just a quick, very, very brief note on the Virgin TV advert. What are your thoughts? I'll bring up the rest of the scores on the screen. What are your thoughts on the Virgin TV advert?
What are my thoughts on it?
Just very briefly, yeah.
I think it shows that Virgin as a business are actually moving with how we're moving as a community, as a global community, as we're moving forward and accepting all these different diversities and all these different changes and things like that. It shows that Virgin are actually moving along with it, where a lot of other airlines and a lot of other businesses seem to be taking a step back, not taking a step back from it, but perhaps not moving as quickly, if you know what I mean. So I think it just shows that it shows that Virgin are sort of open-armed and just accepting, everyone sort of thing. Yeah, I think it's positive. It's definitely a positive move for Virgin. Definitely.
I like it. Yeah, I like the publicity it's given.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do like it.
Yeah.
Right, on to another next one, which I think, judging by the fact that you picked it, you didn't know about this livery until I pointed it out today because of one that you had originally picked, which we've swapped out for this one.
Absolutely.
I do like the one you swapped out. I do like that a lot, and you can buy like an Airfix style kit of it, which I have seen. I think it's the Russian company.
I bought one.
Svedsa, yeah.
I bought 2 777s in and one of them with that one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you got that one. But what you've decided to go for is another stunning livery when it was released in the year 2000 on a tour of the world trying to sell the aircraft. It didn't do very well, unfortunately, which is a shame because I'm a massive fan of the plane. But the livery is also very striking indeed. It is, of course, the Boeing 767-400ER prototype with its livery of traveling around the world to try to drum up some sales. This aircraft, just very briefly, this aircraft did go to Delta in the end. This aircraft in particular, the prototype, went to Delta. You can kind of tell that by the belly. They've obviously got that partially ready for painting into Delta colours. But yeah, you've had most a couple of hours today to kind of mull over it. What made you pick this one over the 777?
Well, I don't know. It just outshone the 777. It was the 777-400ER, weren't it? 777, yeah. With the, I couldn't take name at livery on it, but it was the same kind of thing, weren't it? Where it was, I did have the name for it in front of me, and it's disappeared. It's gone. But anyway, so that's by the by. And then you sent me a message saying that it's in the 767. So I actually Googled it and I looked at it and I thought to myself, this is such a nice plane that it can't go unnoticed. It's a shame that you've only got this picture of it, because I did actually see a picture of it projected from above, looking below it, and the sort of grey squares going from the dark blue into the white there to sort of fade it out a little bit. You can see them just in front of the engine there, to be quite honest. But looking at it from different angles, it shows it in a different light, and it's an absolute stunner. And it was more as well about Boeing as a business. When say for instance you look at Airbus, and you see an Airbus, as you see a 350, you see a 320 Neo, whatever you see, when they're coming out of Toulouse for going to air shows or going to be shown around the world or whatever, they just look the same, don't they? There's nothing different. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. But when you look at what Boeing do to their planes, they always try and do something a little bit different, a little bit special. And they always try and splash a bit of colour into it and always try and make it, representative of what the USA have got to offer as a business. And you can see the massive red, white and blue within this within this 767, and it just looks absolutely stunning. And it obviously with a little like sort of Atlas sort of logo things going into the blue at the back. It's just done quite tastefully as well, but modern, and represents what Boeing are trying to project as a business, which is absolutely fantastic. And it's an absolute stunner. And with that silver underbelly, I think just sets it off, to be quite honest.
You can see sort of the grey squares towards the front of the plane.
Yeah, you can see just in front of the engine there.
Obviously revolutionary. This not revolutionary because obviously didn't sell very well. I think it was about 40 odd, like 30 to 40 odd made of these. I think it all went to American carriers, Continental, Delta took them as well. Raked wingtips as well. Always a big fan of the old raked wingtips.
Yeah,
look rather good on the 767 as well. I've just got that this particular version didn't do very well at all, but overall it's a stunning livery, and it's that good. I had to go and find a model of it, which I do thankfully have. But
all right, happy days. Yeah,
you can find them, but I'd like a 1/400 scale if possible. They only do like a 1/500. So
I think Herpa do them, don't they? I think it's a Herpa one. Googling this afternoon.
Herpa wings, 1/500 I think it is, and potentially a 1/400 as well. But I've kind of gone off Herpa a little bit, but that's neither here or there. Let's see what people think. While we go through the chat, have a think about what you'd give it at a 10. Start from the bottom, work your way up. Rob Brown Plain Spot and says 767 is underrated as a workhorse. Goes about his business. This when Boeing actually built aircraft that does what it says on the tin. Wayne Hartshorn. Very 90s design looked like it was designed using Microsoft Windows 96.
Probably was.
Well, not for the year 2000. Hopefully not.
Oh yeah. Oh, you don't know, do you now?
Other than that, Michael Painter's given his rating as well, but we'll read his comment out. He says, "I like this, and so did Delta." Lots of people giving their ratings as well. Farring Travels though says, "I don't understand what people see in the 767. Pretty much a workhorse," and I think somebody mentioned it. Darren Smith with his knowledge. It was designed as a Lockheed L1011 and DC-10 replacement, and it worked very well and killed off the TriStars and that. So,
well, I think that actual particular airframe is still flying today, isn't it?
It would be, I don't know of any that have been retired yet, so it would still be, it would still be flying around. I am curious to know. I will just have a quick nosy. Hang on. Look. Do you know what it is? And I'm fairly certain I may have caught this recently. Yes, it's flying around as November 827 Mike Hotel, and it is showing as active in the new colours. So yes.
Yeah. So they're not that bad after all, are they?
Not at all. In fact, I will continue to nosy. No, you've sent me a bigger picture of the other one. Yeah. That's got to come at the end. Just a quick nosy to see where it's been. Right, currently, so it is still flying. It is currently en route. It says not en route. Sorry, it's currently sat at Atlanta, its home base, or as Matt Cochran says, Hometown Airlines at hometown base.
Yeah, Hometown Airlines. Yeah.
So she is still flying around.
The Delta fleet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any that's been retired. So she's still flying around. Flying around. Right, let's have a look at what people have given. Oh, actually, no, got to give your rating first out of 10 for that.
I'm going to give that another. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10, mate, because I really like it.
9 out of 10. I think I have to agree with you. If I was giving it a rating, definitely a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Let's have a look and go through what people have put then as the ratings come in. Samuel Taylor Ackroyd, being the party pooper, gives it a 4 out of 10.
Why?
I would love to know why. He's not,
Yeah.
apart from the rating, he's not said anything else.
No.
So I'd like to know why he's given it 4 out of 10. Carl Crawford, 7.5 out of 10, which I think is respectable. Wayne Hartshorn gives it a 5 out of 10, but that's probably because of his comment of being designed by Windows 96. Rob Brown Blazebotting gives it a decent 7 out of 10. Then we've got Lynn Keeble with a 5. MaxJet TV Live with a /5 out of 10. Farring Travels gives it a 3. I don't think he was a fan of it because obviously the 767. Jim Gemmell answering MaxJet TV Live's question of when the 767's first flight was. It was September 81. Farring Travels asks, what would the Airbus equivalent of the 767 be? Most likely the A330, I would say.
Yeah, probably say so, yeah.
I think it was built as a competitor. Right, here we go. So Samuel Taylor Ackroyd says 4 out of 10 because it's kind of messy, unlike the 747, 777, and 787 prototype liveries.
Well, the thing is with Airbus, Boeing rather. I think when they produce, particularly the 777s, and maybe back in them days as well, you've got your standard Boeing livery with the curved line what runs up and down it and all the rest of it, which is fine. It might say 777X on tail and all the rest of it, which is really, really nice. But I think at that particular moment in time, I think Boeing needed to do something different to promote that particular model, and obviously it never worked, did it? But you know that's what Boeing were about, weren't it? It was all about flamboyancy, weren't it? And you know, throwing it all out into the mix, weren't it?
I'll tell you what it reminds me of when they try and do something extravagant and it doesn't work. The first thing that comes to mind is the 747-8.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they painted that up in a red livery.
Yeah,
they painted that up in a red version of like the Dreamliner livery and things like that.
Yeah.
And apart from obviously they released a freighter version, painted that up in a simple livery, and that's got so many orders from Atlas Air, Cathay Pacific, etc. For their cargo divisions. But the actual passenger variant,
well, I think the 747-8, to be fair, for what it were meant to be, was a bit of a I don't know whether I'd like to say, but a bit of a flop for Boeing, to be quite honest. It was never the bestseller, was it?
I think what they tried to do was clutch onto straw. I can't think of the word then. Clutch onto like straws and stuff. And if it worked the first time, try and make it work a second time by making it a bit more fuel efficient. But I think by that point, the era of the quad jets and stuff was starting to wind down, I think. So it's a shame, but we'll see them around for a while at least, which is good. But yeah, that's fine. Right, let's move on to the next one. We are halfway through, considering we're an hour and 20 minutes in. So we'll try and fly through.
I've not got work tomorrow.
No, that's right. Nor do I. Right, next one is. No, we spoke about this one, and I've asked a certain someone for a picture of it. It's one that I didn't think would get mentioned, but it has, and I'm quite glad it has, because as much as they get a little bit boring when you go to Stansted or wherever, it's actually quite nice to look at. And you've picked a particular plane for us to show it on. Full credit goes to Jack Rolls for the stunning picture of it taking off from Bournemouth. It's the Ryanair livery on a 737 MAX. Now, forgetting it's a MAX and stuff, the Ryanair livery itself is one that I didn't think would be mentioned. It has been mentioned. Tell us why.
It just doesn't get the credit it deserves, to be quite honest. I mean, if somebody can tell me that that's a bad livery, I'd quite happily, I don't know, send them a £5 in post or whatever. It's not a bad livery, and I think the fact that we see so many of them and they get such a bad rating and this, that, and the other, that I think we're brainwashed into thinking that they're bad-looking aircraft, and they're not. I mean, they've got the lovely yellow cheek line down the side there. They've got a nice blue and white fuselage, a nice blue tail with a lovely logo on it. says Ryanair in big bold letters at the side. And I chose the Max 8 just because I think the livery looks nicer on a newer aircraft than what it does on one of the older ones, to be quite honest. But I just think, I mean, even the wingtips as well with the little Ryanair logos on the wingtips and that, I just think they're for an airline that's got such a bad reputation. The actual products in front of you, what you're looking at, isn't a bad looking plane whatsoever. And I think, and people would agree with me, and they would probably say about Flybe and whatever you want to say, Monarch and Thomas Cook, we got so used to seeing them that they became to a penny, and people call them rats at sky and all the rest of it, and they've all got slagged off. But as soon as they disappeared, people were, oh, well, I used to love that livery. Oh, I used to love that. Oh, I really miss them and all that. That's exactly the same what you think about Ryanair.
You ain't wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong at all. I think it does look nice. The delivery is nice on the Maxes in particular, because obviously the split scimitar wingtips and stuff, you've got two sections to paint. I like the fact they've gone for the standard blue, which is what they've got on every other 737, but they've also painted yellow on it as well. I believe they've also painted it on another color as well. I can't think, it might be blue or it might be another color. Someone will have to tell me, I'm sure. But there are two variants of the winglet paintings. But yeah, despite the fact, like I say, I think it's the fact that they get such bad rep for how cheap they are trying to run. You kind of forget from an aesthetic point of view. There's a big word for you.
Absolutely.
From an aesthetically pleasing point of view, this is kind of, again, depending on where you are, you don't miss it at Manchester if it comes in because they're not regular sort of thing, not too regular anyway. Or Bristol sort of thing. You see plenty of them at Bristol, but you don't get bored of it. Stansted's a bit different because it's kind of like a base for them, so you see them going in and out all the time. So you can afford one or two to kind of go past you.
Yeah.
But as much as I don't like the Max, there's something about it. There's something about it on the Max. It looks really, really nice, and I think delivery as a whole is quite nice. Like I say, I think it's being judged on the inside as opposed to being looked at from the outside.
Absolutely, it's definitely underrated, that livery. It really is.
It's simple, and it's very, very simple. Yeah. Obviously, they had shorter titles, and it ran across towards the nose. Obviously, they've taken the curved bend with billboard titles, which keeps it modern from when they brought it in. So,
it's Ryanair's product, isn't it? It tells you what Ryanair's about. It's basic, it's simple, but it gets the job done, doesn't it?
Steve Plains, I think, nails it. Says, I think the problem with it is that it's so common, you stop caring about it. A bit like a 320 BA 320.
Absolutely.
I can vouch for that because the amount of times I've sat there and watched one go by going, I won't get this. I don't need this one.
Yeah.
And then you see like a Ryanair and stuff, and depending on where you go, like Newquay, we get them. We got like one flight to I think it's a couple of flights to Alicante and Faro in Portugal. So you tend to kind of grab them. Then Bristol, you grab them. Manchester, grab them. Anywhere like up in Scotland as well. You tend to grab them. But at the bases, if you're so used to them, like Steve says, you just tend to kind of get a bit like, oh well, I don't need this one. I was guilty of it when I went to Stansted and completely missed a special livery.
Well, so that's what happens.
Twice, and I was there for 4 days. Twice I missed it because I didn't know that's what it was. So it's it is summed up nicely by Steve Plains there. But have a think about what you'd give it, and we'll go through what people. Let me just take that off screen. I don't need two logos up. What people have said. I'll tell you, it's a very, very good comment from David Bone, who said, the Ryanair livery is genius. 2 colours on white makes for very cost-effective auxiliaries like stationary vehicles and uniforms, etc.
That's right, yeah.
So it works. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's people sat in an office who are a lot cleverer than us who are thinking, like, what can we do? Makes it does what the product says, doesn't it? And like you say, everything's just blue, white, and yellow.
That's it.
And there's nothing different. I mean, the seats are all standard inside, but it looks. I think psychologically, without thinking about it, it is aesthetically pleasing to you. It's not because it's not an ugly looking plane. It's not ugly looking inside or anything like that. I think straight away, psychologically, I think you're quite comfortable with the product, as you get on it. And I would probably say the same about EasyJet. They're another one who just use orange and white. And because it's so simple, and with the orange, I suppose they use warmer colours, which I think as a species, we accept warmer colours more than what we do about blues and whites and whatever. We'd accept oranges a lot more. But I think because you're sort of at ease with the actual product before you actually, and that's what it is with them. And I think they're very, very, very clever people who think of these types of things, to be quite honest. But as a livery, as a standalone livery, if Ryanair was, if Spirit Airlines, for instance, which are to a penny in America, if one flew over to this country, people had rushed to go and see it, which would happen if a Ryanair flew across to America. People would want to go and see it because it's something different and something unusual. So I think it's just an underrated livery, to be quite honest, and I think it deserves a lot more credit than what it gets. The products and the actual, the slagging off it gets by the by, just as an actual physical looking plane.
Yeah. Darren Smith says, I flew Ryanair last month. Nothing wrong with them. You know what you're getting or not. Most importantly, they get you from A to B. Okay. If I remember correctly, or I'm pretty certain I haven't dreamt this up, but I'm fairly certain they are starting flights from Newquay to Stansted to kind of not compete, but kind of give an extra leg for the Newquay to London route.
Yeah.
Which if that is the case, I'm fairly certain I haven't dreamt that. I'm certain that's the case. Someone will probably tell me. If that is the case, then considering how cheap Ryanair can be, I'd like to kind of have a go.
Absolutely. I mean, it is what they are, isn't it? I mean, I think Sam's going to Dublin, isn't he? Is it in April and May?
Is he?
He might have mentioned it once or twice. Yeah. But I was going to say about the cost. For him to fly to, I tell you what, for him to fly to Dublin and back was cheaper than me and my daughter going to Rhyl last summer on the train and back. And I had to stand up in the train with my arms tucked down my side, with my suitcase under my legs, because it was absolutely ram-jam full, and I got COVID while I was there as well. But it was more expensive than what Sam's paying to go to Dublin on a seat in a plane. So that tells you a lot about the product, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's if that is the case, and that is what they've started up, I'll have a nosy actually, just very quickly. Very quickly. Hang on.
Why are you having a nosy? I just need to into the little boy's room again. Sorry, Tom. Big boy's room. What were you saying?
I was just saying, didn't you? That's fine. Let me have a look here. Newquay to Stansted. Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I've just looked at it as well. Apparently, it's £35 return. There you go, £35 return to do Ryanair from Newquay to Stansted. So I should most likely be jumping on that for sure. Right, let's have a look at the ratings before obviously Ian comes back. We'll do your ratings first. Lots of people obviously like say judging it, depending on obviously whether they've had an experience or not. We'll go for ratings wise. Rob Brown hitting the 7.37 out of 10. Steve Plains mentioning Southwest into Gatwick, for example, would be a showstopper. The Americans probably feel the same about Southwest. As we do about Ryanair, but as a standalone, 6.5 out of 10. Ian's back from the big boys room.
Massive point.
Carl Crawford gives it a 7.37 max out of 10. Lynn Keeble also gives it a 7. Wayne Hartshorn, 6 out of 10, does what it says on the tin. Jack Rolls, 6. Samuel Taylor Ackroyd, I hope you got permission from Max to use that. 10 out of 10. Ryanair livery is excellent. 9 out of 10 from Darren. 8 out of 10 for Jim. And lastly, 10 out of 10 for the financial benefits and marketing strategy for David Bone.
Absolutely.
And also Faring Travels gives it a 10 out of 10. Surely there can only be one 10 out of 10 livery. Oh, sorry, there can only be one 10 out of 10 livery Emirates. That's my bad. I thought that was a 10 out of 10 for Ryanair. So whilst you were gone, I looked up. Newquay Stansted is coming to from Ryanair. £35 return.
£35 return.
Yeah.
I mean, how else can you get there for that kind of price? You can't, can you?
Virgin Orbit.
Yeah.
TN's obviously very busy. I looked at return flights to Tenerife and it was £250 return, but that's for TUI.
Thanks for your input on Ryanair there, TN. Thanks very much.
Who's the guy that does the travel advice on like BBC and stuff, like Simon Calder or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, Simon Calder, that is.
I bet he's quaking in his boots now, isn't he?
Yeah, TN Calder, there you go.
Yeah.
Darren Smith says Eastern Airways from Gatwick is £80 return. Yeah, a lot of people have complained how expensive Eastern Airways is to do Gatwick to Newquay. I paid, when I did it with Flybe, the old Flybe, when I did it with them, it was something like £65 return, something like that. And that was like a weekend, so it was quite good. But I'd like to do like a 2-day stay or something at Stansted. For £35, you can't go wrong. And plus, you get to fly on a 737 and experience have the Ryanair experience.
Absolutely, so yeah.
Go for it. Definitely looking into that. Jack, great picture.
I'll be quite honest. I mean, a lot of people catch trains doing the same kind of journey, and you probably trek better on a Ryanair plane than what you are on a train. Obviously, a lot of people slag trains off, but I'd rather fly and sit down than go on a train and have to stand up with a suitcase between my legs.
Yeah, for like 4.5 hours, something like that.
4.5 hours,
it is horrific.
But yeah, great.
Great picture. Great picture, Jack. Thank you for sharing that with us. Right, quick one on this one because we don't have a full picture. And it's a livery that even I forgot about, and I don't tend to forget about many. KLM's special livery that was back, I want to say something like 2006, 2007, something like that. And do you know what? It's like a Inspire, isn't it? Inspire livery.
Bear with me 2 seconds. It was called Inspire. I put it written down. Inspire Thailand Inspire campaign, and what KLM did, they launched a competition, didn't they, on social media, Facebook, to create. They called it Delftware profiles of photos of the KLM fans, and he actually created tiles out of them and put them onto the KLM plane. Now, yeah, and I'll be honest, I've never heard of it, to be quite honest. Delftware. I've never heard of profiles like that. Anyway, but it was more of a nod to KLM because from afar, it just looks like a normal KLM livery, which is fine within itself. But I think it was a nice nod to KLM just for including the people who are actually fans of that particular airline. It was nice to include the people who stand there on. I mean, particularly at Schiphol, you've got all these different viewing places. You've got all these people watching all these planes, all these KLM planes and whatever. And it's nice to recognise these people and to let them be part of their history, I suppose, because obviously that particular plane is going to be part of their history, isn't it? Even though it's not got that livery anymore. But I think it was just a really, really nice touch, and I think a nice livery for them. And I think British Southwest did the same, didn't they, with all the names of the employees on one of their particular planes.
Yeah, so Delftware, I haven't looked this up, I promise you. I've been looking the livery up just to kind of get an idea for what it's about. But Delftware is it's like a Dutch pottery type thing. I know this from when we did the World Tales. And they had the Dutch version there. It's like you see the pattern behind the actual portrait sort of thing.
Yeah.
That was on the 777.
Yeah, it's a bit like Royal Dalton, isn't it, where they have the fancy little patterns around the plates and stuff. Yeah.
So so it's like a style of pottery, Delftware, I think, and I think they called it like Delft Blue Daybreak. I think the Brie World Tale was called, and it was basically an homage to Delftware pottery sort of thing, or like Dutch pottery as a whole. So that's where that name comes from. But on a 777, this one I don't know if it was on any other aircraft.
No, I think it was just on that one. It was definitely one off.
Yeah, just the one 777. This one was. It's definitely not the 787 because it wasn't around back in 2006, 2007, or whenever this was released.
Yeah.
It doesn't. 2011.
Yeah, it was 2011 when the plane went done. Yeah, and it had 4,000 of these stickers put on it.
Yeah, 2011 it was released, 4,000 stickers of KLM fans. But yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I can't show a full picture because it doesn't really do it justice.
No.
Because you can't see it. It basically covers from the nose door backwards to sort of maybe towards the back door way or the end of the aircraft sort of thing. But it's so faint that the only way you're going to show it off is literally by having a close up of it. So
absolutely, yeah.
let's have a look and see what people think. Let's have a look. Darren Smith thought it was an MD-11, but then was corrected to say it was a 777. Wayne Hartshawn says the KLM livery is so smart in any form you could stick a roadside skip in KLM, it would look classy. Jack Rolls, obviously on the Westerns tonight, says, Sam, ever heard of the Beatles? Because this was them. You are a day tripper. Seriously, mate, you've got to get off the Westerns, honestly.
Yeah.
Try the Robinson's fruit shoot. That's always one.
Absolutely, yeah. I think fruit shoots are even worse, aren't they? Without sugar in them.
Darren Smith says, left of the K, 2 to the left. Is that Mel and Kim?
Yeah. And if you go one down, that could be Freddie Mercury. Then one across, that could be Tupac. And then one underneath that looks like some kind of mass murderer. I don't know.
Right, we're judging people now.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. No, I just think it was. I think we were talking about Virgin before being like inclusive with all different like communities and just involving people and just being part of culture rather than just being a brand what people use. And I think the KLM that they do the same kind of thing. They've got the same kind of ethical code, if you want, where they want to involve just like me and you and everybody else, don't they, within their product and make just a layman person just be part of the heritage and part of the product sort of thing. And I think that's such a nice thing what they did.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a little homage to basically the fans, isn't it?
Absolutely,
thank you for supporting us. Wonderful. All right, have a think about your rating. Well, actually, no, that we've already done the that side of things. So, out of 10, what'd you give it?
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Number one, it's on a 777, which is, it's worth an 8 out of 10 just being on 777. But I think the story behind what they actually did and the things like that, I think it deserves an 8 or even an 8.5 out of 10 at least. Definitely, yeah.
Good shout. Right, let's bring it back up. Quite a few people here giving it some good numbers. So Jim Gemmell actually referring to the actual plane itself, 777-200ER, Papa Hotel, Bravo, Quebec, Papa was the aircraft. Jack Rolls gives it an 8 out of 10, gorgeous livery. Carl Crawford, 6.5 out of 10. Faring travels with the savagery tonight. Can't see it from a distance, which is fair enough, but 2 out of 10.
Yeah, but I mean, at 40,000 feet, you can't really see much, can you? So if I'm still on ground looking up and I see that flying over, if I see an Etihad Smarty livery flying over, an Emirates Smarty livery flying over at 40,000 feet, I still can't see it. So,
yeah. Probably because it's always cloudy up north.
Well, yeah.
Michael Painter, 8 out of 10. Wayne Hartshawn reckons he'll get sued by Max, 10 out of 10. Lynn Keyboard, 9 out of 10. Jim Gemmell looks like Jason Voorhees, third left from the K.
Who's Jason Voorhees?
Okay, we'll go for a better one. Rick Mail is above the first window.
Rick Mail, yeah, I can see Rick Mail above
Rick
it.
Mail,
yeah, that the one above, I think that's who Jim was referring to. I thought it was Tupac or someone like that, but yeah.
Jack Rolls. Cammy, are you reading this? It's unbelievable, Jeff. Max hasn't given a 10 out of 10. Samuel Taylor Ackroyd, 8 out of 10. David Bone, 8 out of 10. Darren Smith, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Jim. Lots of 8s coming in. However, Faring Travels has changed his mind because it's on the 777. So a 10 out of 10 for him.
So he's a big fan of the 777s. He's Faring Travels, isn't he?
Yes, definitely. It's hard to, it's hard not to be. Rob Brown, Planespoint, and Jim Gemmell saying Friday the 13th. Friday 13th is Jason Voorhees. Do a quick Google search.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I know who it is now, yeah.
But Jim Gemmell says, does look like Rick, though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. Agree to that, yeah.
Tian Hartley's not giving a 10 out of 10 until Tap comes on.
Oh, well. Keep your 10s then safely tucked away, Tian.
Might be slightly disappointed.
Yeah. The only tap you'll see tonight is when you brush your teeth after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. All right. Another one of your personal favourites as we got 3 to go. So we'll try and get through the next 2, not as quickly so we can get out of here, but
as quickly.
We'll spend a bit of time, especially on this one. This one's been mentioned a couple of times. It's hard for it not to be anyone's personal favourite, but you, I know, are a big fan of this one. The Icelandair Heckler Aurora livery on the wonderful Boeing 757.
Yeah.
I think it's hand painted. This one, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
No, that one wasn't hand painted. It was one after the.
Is it the 80s livery? 80 years of aviation livery or something?
Is that what it's called? The
blue one with the mountains in the background.
Yeah, that was the one that was hand painted. Yeah, this one wasn't. No, I think this is one of those vinyl wrap type things. I'm not 100% certain. Don't quote me on that, but it doesn't matter, does it? It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, the thing is, this is one of those ones where you don't really need to speak about it.
No,
because it kind of does the speaking for you. It's an absolute. If you're going to talk about it in kind of like, let's go for like slang terms, it's an absolute peach, right?
Absolutely, yeah, it is an absolute peach, yeah.
And
nobody doesn't want to get a photograph of that, do they?
No, you do not let this one pass you.
No.
Even though that I still haven't got a picture of it, even though it's been in Heathrow so many times.
Yeah.
But you don't let this one pass you at all. This is incredible. In fact, you know what? All the ones that they've got are quite stunning, including the 80 years of aviation livery. The Independence one on the longer 757-300. All the special liveries they've got are stunning. Can't really say much more than that.
It's a shame, really. I mean, you look at even Iceland's plain livery, just the normal livery, not the new livery, but the old livery, and you look at all the. I mean, even the old livery is a nice livery. And then you look at the special liveries, which are all absolutely stunning. And then you look at the new livery, and you think, where's it all gone wrong with them?
Cost cutting. That's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Aircraft now are just adverts. That's all they are.
Yeah,
they're not part of a fleet. They're just adverts to get the airline out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why all these titles are being made bigger. Air France have done it. Icelandair have done it. Who else? If I go off the top of my head, Alaska. Alaska have always had big titles anyway.
They all do it now, don't they? They all just plaster the name downside, and that's it, don't they? On a Euro white livery, and that's your plane, isn't it?
Yeah, Emirates have done it. United have done it, obviously with the bigger titles down the thing. So it's all just adverts. That's all they are.
Yeah.
But this is quite stunning. Like I said, not much really to be said on it. I think we all know what we're going to give it. It might be the first one of the night, but lots of people loving it. I don't think apart from Steve, who I think is just trolling by saying "boo, rubbish." I know he's joking about that. I know he likes it really. Lots of people loving it. Not a single bit of hate. So there's no real point in trying to have a think about this one because I think I know what you're going to give. But you may as well go for it. Ian, out of 10, Heckler Aurora, what'd you give it?
I'm going to give it 9.5 again. I'm still not going to give it a 10.
Still not giving it a 10? I'm surprised.
No. I mean, they created the Heckler Aurora. Obviously, the Aurora for the lights, northern lights and what have you. Heckler is a traditional Icelandic girl's name, which is also the name of one of the better known volcanoes in Iceland. So that's where the Hekla came from. Aurora, obviously, for the Northern Lights. And they've also got mood lighting inside, haven't they, inside the actual aircraft to represent the Northern Lights. And they actually created that livery as it was meant to be I don't know whether it was a stopover. So if you were flying to the United States, you could stop over in Iceland, and you could stay as long as you wanted in Iceland without having a charge incurred onto your ticket. So it was called the stopover, and it was to promote the stopover. So Icelandair, if instead of buying, like you were saying, for a weekend ticket, for instance, what you bought for Stansted with Flybe, every ticket what they sold to the United States was at that particular point with that particular brand, where that product was an open-ended ticket, so you could stop off in Iceland and then just pick up the next flight to the United States without incurring any extra charges. So that's why they actually did delivery, was to promote that particular product what they were trying to sell at the time. So, fun fact.
9 out of 10. I mean, I'm looking through, and there is not one that's kind of below 10, apart from. I know we've done those. Yeah. Apart from Darren Smith gives it a 9. But I say the rest of it's all 10s, 9s and 10s. Not much to kind of add for it. Darren Smith says that the livery was applied at Norwich Airport.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's really nice.
Got a painting thing up there as well. So that's where all the Icelandair aircraft have been being painted into their new liveries at the moment. Another one, Darren Smith. I don't do 10s.
Yeah, don't do 10s.
Don't do 10s. No, that's fair enough.
I think if the why has that come up? Oh, hang on. I'm just googling. Bear with.
Doesn't do 10s. No one does 10s. I do 10s. I'd give it a 10.
I would give the. I can't even find the name of it. You know which one I mean. The one with the mountains on and things like that.
Is that not the 80 years of Iceland or something?
Yeah, it's 80. It's the 80th version. I can't even think of the name of it. It has actually got a name, hasn't it? I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah.
I would give that a 10, just because it's hand painted. To be quite honest, and to be able to create something like that is unique in this day and age. To be quite honest. Yeah.
I'm not going to pronounce it.
No.
Vatnajökull is the mountains one, apparently.
Is that what it's got? I'm sure it's got an English translation.
Yeah, Dave is the mountains one.
Dave.
That's all right. We'll worry about that next time. Right, 2 to go. Another 757 livery. Another one that I didn't think that I would see pop up on the show. One I have seen, one I've got a photo of, one that I have a photo of that I can't seem to find anywhere because it's on a PC or a laptop that I can't use because it's broken, of a 767 taken off from Gatwick. It is the First Choice livery.
Yeah.
With obviously the contrasting green into blue into red, wavy cheat line down the middle there. Looks fantastic on a 767. Looks lovely on a 757. Looks okay on an A320. But we've got it 757 because it makes it look better. And bonus points and brownie points. Ian, where's the location?
Is that Bristol, the Nuki or something?
It is. It's Bristol.
Yeah.
Well done. You can always
tell. I recognise that background there. You get a fantastic view of the background, don't you?
Easy to pick that out as Bristol because you just get a lovely view from the top there. But tell us why you picked this one.
Yeah, I chose that one for. It's a nice livery, and it's one of the forgotten liveries. We go back to, again, like Monaco and Thomas Cook and things like that, and First Choice and all the rest of the old airlines like that. And these were staples again at Manchester Airport. They were all just like to a penny, so we didn't really think much of them. The colours are fantastic on it, and to me it was when my daughter was very, very young and we used to fly to Spain, we used to fly on these across the Salou. So it's got memories for me as well. And they were a fantastic product to fly on. They were really, really good. But the colours, that blue is a lovely, like a sort of off shade of blue, if you want, a bluey, more of a greeny blue sort of thing.
Yeah, it's another one of those blue or green sort of colours, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but it's a very, very clean looking aircraft with a lovely cheat line down the side. First choice is written down the side. It does what it says. It's got nice coloured engines, and it's got the logo on the tail. And it's not doing a lot while it's also saying a lot as well. And it's one of the classic holiday jets from '90s, if you ask me. And it's a fantastic looking plane. It really, really is.
First choice, of course, also a big name as well in the holiday markets as well. So
yeah,
not just an airline or anything like that, but like one of the big players for booking holidays and things like that. But as a whole, like I said, I caught the 767 out of Gatwick on one of my visits there. I have the photo literally on one of my laptops that I can't access because it's broken. So I can't dig it out, unfortunately. And the website that I loaded it onto as well has now gone down as well. So I literally cannot grab it from anywhere. But fond memories, of course, for yourself and your daughter, of course, and for a lot of people that would have picked first choice to have go on their holidays and things like that. So yeah, overall, I do like this livery. It is very nice. It is a very nice livery. It's also very different as well. And everyone that knows me knows that I'm an absolute sucker for a cheat line, whether it's wavy or not. So
yeah, I think that cheat line does a lot of justice. It looks absolutely fantastic. It really, really does.
Yeah, have a think. Obviously, you probably know what you're going to give out of 10. I'll just quickly run through some of the comments here. Jack Roll says it's a gorgeous livery, which in my eyes it is. Cole Crawford, so 1990s brings back so many memories, as we sort of mentioned. More of that from Rob Brown Plane Spotting. It says, fondly remember these, and Air 2000 went off on holiday as a kid. Very 90s.
Yeah.
Jack Rolls says that's a first choice selection, Ian. Well done. You're not going to take Steve's crown, honestly. You're not going to take it. Like, those puns are done for him. Like
he does try though, doesn't he?
He does, but he needs to know when to stop.
When his Vimto wears off.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, cheeky Vimto and all that. Farring Travel says, okay, I suppose. Darren Smith says Air Europe was nicer. For those that remember them. Rob Brown Plane Spotting, another name mentioned. Britannia runs it close in livery terms. Of course, Britannia's livery was very, very nice indeed. Not had that on the show yet, so I'm sure we'll be chatting away about that at some point. The one that gets me the most, and probably because he's a millennial, is Samuel Taylor Ackroyd. Oh, that looks awful. A wavy line that's mostly blue and a bit of red does not look good at all. The tail looks like it has barely any effort put into it at all. Ian, would you like to mention, because I'm sure I know the answer if you don't, why the tail is the way it is? What does it represent?
Well, you're going to tell me it's part of the logo.
I am going to tell you. I am going to tell you indeed. The first choice logo, the red palm tree. There's your answer. The palm tree. That's the top of a palm tree.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. That is why it looks that way. Not for any other reason. I don't know how you can't like this livery. Millennials, they own nothing nowadays.
No. Can I just ask Jack? Not Jack. Sam. Sorry. If he would compare that to the Jet 2 holiday livery, which he would prefer out of the two?
Oh, it's an easy answer. You know what he's going to say.
Well, yeah.
Right. Darren Smith says first choice is still going, but no longer an airline. I think that's pretty much that. Farring Travel's just last one would have looked good back in the 1990s. I think this came around early 2000s, I think.
It would have been early 2000s. Yeah, that's when we used to fly on them. Yeah.
Fair play. And Yeah, Jet2 livery by a long shot, says Sam.
No, yeah, that's what I expected.
Bloody millennials.
Yeah.
Right. So, Steve. Yeah, that's because I've seen his name pop up. I've seen his name pop up. It was in the chat, right? Ian, out of 10, what do you give it?
I'm going to give that another. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5.
It's still a strong livery. Yeah, it really is.
What a really nice comment here from David Bone. Says the livery of in-house airlines always mirrors the brochures, etc., of the parent tour operator. The classic was Horizon and Orion, for those that remember them. I remember Orion. They had a really, really strange brown, almost like a beigey brown livery. It was very strange. Very, very strange.
I'm familiar with them, to be quite honest.
It's like a brown tail with like a circle logo on it, and it's an old airline from 80s, early 90s. They sort of died out quite early. Google them, you'll see what I mean. Right, let's have a look and see what people think. Samuel Taylor Aykroyd gives it a 1 out of 10, which I think is very, very harsh.
That's pathetic, isn't it, really?
It is harsh. Lynn Keeble, 7 out of 10. A bit more like it. Wayne Hartshaw, of course, someone had to do it. 7.57 out of 10. Livery's basic, but because it's 7.57, what's not to like? Jack Rolls, 10 out of 10. Michael Painter, 5 out of 10. Poor livery, but would suit the bucket and spade folk.
That's exactly what it was for. That's exactly what it was for.
Pretty much, yeah. So take that lightly. Paul Hussey, 7 out of 10. Monarch Airlines, 757 was also nice. Carl Crawford, 9 out of 10. Steve Plains, 11 out of 10. These kids these days know nothing. Darren Smith, we can kind of accept this one. I think the colours are dull, needs a bit more oomph. 2 out of 10.
Yeah, I can see where it's coming from there, to be honest.
It's better than 1. So it's all good. David Bowman with the last rating.
I'm looking at the Orion as well. It just reminds me of a 1970s carpet.
Reminds me of my nan's front room.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's shocking. Yeah,
it was bizarre. So if that reflects the brochure, no surprise that they didn't last long.
I remember my dad going out drinking in suits that colour. With orange tie. Yeah.
Oh, was it in Peckham by any chance?
It could have been. Yeah.
All right, last livery for tonight, and it's one that you've asked me to put up at the end. I don't have the full picture because I have literally your video on Facebook, so I can't check the chat or anything.
Okay.
But people get an idea. They know there's more to it than just the 8 that are on show here.
Yeah.
Before I show it, do you have the model nearby?
Tian? No, I'll get it. You're all right. Yes. One sec.
Go grab it. For those that might know Ian, they know that he has a particular favourite airline, which is not a UK airline, not a European airline, and it's one that, because think of it as Braniff Airways, for those that can remember them, with their funky colours of orange and greens and blues and things like that. Think of the modern day, and see if you can guess who I'm talking about. Before, here he is.
I've got the model. Yeah.
All right. You may have seen the yellow, so that might give it slightly away. But Ian, do you want to reveal your favourite airline, the one you've asked me to pick at the very end, and I'll bring up the image afterwards.
There it is. FDA.
FDA, which
Fuji
is
Dreams Airline.
Yes, Fuji Dream Airlines, Japanese low-cost carrier. Do it. Please do it.
No. No, it's going to be nice to model that. I want to keep that in one piece.
No. Fuji Dream. Tell us all about it.
I was going to give you a quick sub note here. I built this Tornado here before Christmas. It took me about 2 months to build this. And then I had the Christmas tree up where I'm sat now. And the cat decided to disguise itself as a surface-to-air missile. Took the Tornado out off the shelf.
Oh,
and
no.
after the tree was dismantled, I had to pick all the pieces up off it and reassemble it again.
No, nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely wounded.
You have to get some deterrent spray for that.
Oh, I'm going to get
sure.
a dog. Yeah, Fuji Dreams Airlines. They're a small Japanese carrier. They've got 13 Embraer 175. I think they've got 11 175s and 2 170s, something like that. And everyone's painted different. And it's just the colours what they choose. And I follow them on Instagram as well. And some of the pictures they post on Instagram of the things what they do and the staff what they've got working for them and stuff like that. It's another one of these really, really nice sort of, I don't know, community based. I don't know what you would call it that, but they really involve everyone in the business what they're trying to promote. And for a little airline what's only got 13 airplanes, they are such a successful company. And I just think that they're what's up? They're stunning.
No, it's not that. Nothing
to yeah, well. Yeah.
Oh dear.
No, Marlo goes near that. That's where to God she's going to the cat's home. Right. I could, sat in this position now, I could do a Max Jet video, couldn't I? But I won't.
Oh, nice little tribute. Yeah,
I won't.
You like that? Right. Here's the image of the rest of the colours, just to show that yellow is not the only one on there. So you have, I mean, there are more. Ian will probably tell them, but
they've got a silver one, a gold one, and the yellow one, obviously.
Yeah, you've got navy blue, dolphin blue, emerald, white, apricot pink, wine red, and a raspberry colour.
Yeah,
very much like a Japanese Braniff. For those that remember the American airline Braniff, obviously, like I said, you had orange planes and they had green and pink and blues and all sorts. So it's nice to and it's a nice variety as well, because like I say, you never know which one you're going to get come to your airport.
Absolutely, yeah.
But these are literally your favorite airline in terms.
Absolutely, yeah. You're my favorite airline. I just think, I think ethically, obviously, I read about them and follow on Instagram or what have you, and I think what they do as an airline for the staff who work for them and things like that, they must be a really, really good company to work for. And I think that the actual product, what they've got in front of you, is absolutely stunning. I really do.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. It's nice to have a bit of colour as well, because
absolutely.
I think the white, if you keep the white's quite nice as it is actually. But the fact that they've gone out and literally, white and go out and then literally paint them in different colours. It's nice because, like I said, from a spotter's point of view in Japan, you can look up and go, oh well, the raspberry one I don't have, but blue one's coming in today, so I can tick that off the list. And then tomorrow the raspberry one's coming in, so I can tick that off. Like the World Tales of British Airways, you could tick off ones that you didn't have, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And things like that. But yeah, no, I do like these. I do like these a lot. I wish them well as well, because they obviously, like I say, small airline to begin with, older planes, but yeah, it is. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of love coming for this one. Carl Crawford says that the blue one reminds him of the Antonov.
Yeah, I don't think they actually. I'm looking at the images I've got in front of me now, Tom, and I think they're a bit outdated, the ones you've got in front of you now, to be honest.
Why is that then?
I don't think they have as many blues as what you've got on there, to be quite honest now. I've got 1, 2, 3.
Hang on, I'll find another image. Hang on.
18. I've sent you that one on Facebook.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they don't. They don't. Hang on. Let me grab this one. Give you a bit more variety in let's go back. Let's take that off. Let's get rid of that. Right, this will be better. There you go.
Hey, yeah, that's the one.
All right, so you got pink, you got orange, you got sort of like a purpley color, a yellow, a lime green, hot pink, raspberry, the blues there, the whites there, the greens there, the silvers there, the golds there, and sort of like a plum grape color down at the bottom there. So that might look like it's probably a bit better.
Yeah. I think that's the fleet what they're flying now. But yeah, I just think they're absolutely stunning looking aircraft. They're just somewhat different, and I think as well in Japan, where you've got that many different airlines with different liveries. A lot use special liveries as well, don't they? In Japan, when you think of your Star Wars liveries and your what else have they got in Japan? All these anime type things and what have you. They've got a lot of planes with different liveries, haven't they? It's nice for a smaller airliner to try and get in, with these different liveries, but without trying to overdo it, sort of thing.
Mm. Yeah, it does what it needs to do. It's very eye catching, and the Japanese
Absolutely.
are quite fond of their colourful liveries as well. You see them with like ANA and Japan Airlines and stuff with like Pokemon and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
everything that they can get, like animes and like Demon Slayer and things like that. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They
so
got a
yeah,
lot.
so
Yeah,
there's
and like you said, from a spotter's point of view, you don't know what's going to turn up next year.
absolutely
So it's good for them as well.
Darren Smith, putting you on the putting you on the spot, Mr. FDA. What is your favorite color?
I would probably say the pink one in the bottom left-hand corner. To be quite honest,
The hot pink.
yeah, I couldn't when I painted this when I got this aircraft. I forgot where I got the aircraft. I bought it online. I had to buy it online. So I couldn't get it anywhere. So I bought the aircraft, and you actually got all the different logos and all the different. You got the full entire 13 livery kits with it, so you could have painted it any color you wanted to paint it. I couldn't get hold of that color paint at the time, so that's why I chose yellow, because yellow's one of my favorite colors anyway. So because I couldn't get the pink one at the bottom, I had to choose the yellow one. So yeah, so there you
go. Jim Gilmore saying, notice the bottom one doesn't have a white underside. Hang on.
Oh, good shout, yeah.
No, do you know what? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, great shout.
No, it has. It has. I've got a different image of it in front of me on my iPad. It does have a white underside, yeah. It's just that it's sort of a shadow's cast on it. If you zoom in on it and look at it properly, it has.
Sorry, Jim.
Yeah.
All right. So whilst you mull over that one, I'll have a look and see what people have said. Let me take that logo off now. I don't need that on there. Let me have a look and see what people have said. Rob Brown plain spotted a bit of Japanese flamboyance. Not a fan particularly of the yellow, but 7 out of 10 for the effort. Lynn Keeble likes the colours. Samuel Taylor Ackroyd with some more controversy. A yellow livery with white lettering is really bad. The white edges on the tail shows there was little effort put into the design. I've got to disagree, I think. Wayne Hartshaw.
I might disagree, yeah.
Yeah, Wayne Hartshaw looks like Japanese. Looks like a Japanese toothpaste company, which you can kind of see. It's fair enough.
I think a lot of it is because we live in UK, don't we, as well, and we're constantly getting bombarded with Euro white stale liveries all the time. And then when you look elsewhere and you see stuff like that, you just think to yourself, wouldn't you like a little bit of that flying into Manchester Airport or into Heathrow Airport or something like that? Yeah, photographer's dream, 8 out of 10.
Wayne Hartshaw says, reminds me, I must pick up a bottle of bleach that looks like a Tesco cleaning shelf with all different bathroom flavored bleaches.
It is.
Bathroom flavored bleaches. Well, I'll say that 5 times over. Yeah, photographer's dream, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
The red one, Rob Brown plain spotting says the red one reminds him of the Greenland A330. Other than that, we'll leave it there. We'll get the ratings in. I think that's a question to Wayne Hartshaw. What Tesco's do you shop at? Bathroom flavored bleachers. Right. Your rating out of 10 then, Ian, for Fuji Dreams.
Right. I'm going to give them a 10.
Hey!
Because they've got the balls, haven't they? to create a product like that, and for people who are tens of thousands of miles away to admire their product is quite an achievement. So that's why I'm giving it a 10. So
yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
It is a nice,
Yeah.
it's nice livery. Can't go wrong with a bit of colour on your aircraft. Let's see what people have put. Simon Taylor Ackroyd gave it a very harsh 1, saying awful livery.
Just out of interest, if you'd stuck that on a 747, would you give it a 10?
100% guaranteed.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Tian Hartley, this is 10 out of 10 in my opinion. We need colour. Well, you get the pleasure of seeing it every day. Wayne Hartshorn, 2 out of 10. Carl Crawford, an 8 out of 10. Jim Gemmell likes it. It's different, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
MaxJet TV Live Express, 10 out of 10. Don't think was there any more out of the Lynn Keeble? 7.5 out of 10. Michael Painter hates it. 2 out of 10. No, Michael. Say it as you say it. Say it as you mean it. 2 out of 10. So that's fair enough. I mean, it's fine. David Bone, 8 out of 10. David Bone also says similar concept to Condor. I don't know.
I can see where it's coming from, and know something. I was toying with the idea of actually using one of the Condor liveries within this show tonight.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was not for the fact that they are ugly, because I don't think they're ugly, to be quite honest. But I think the fact that we're sat here again talking about Condor tells you what exactly they've done. So, and you can't knock them for that, can you? Yeah.
PR overrules it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we got to the end.
Yep.
Of the rating liveries. It always is a harsh, savage show for certain people's opinions and stuff like that. But that's why we love doing this, because it is opinions. It's what it's all about. And now we're going to get some more opinions, because I haven't forgotten. Here
we go.
Here we go. So I'm going to.
Is this you or me?
This is you.
Oh shit! All right. Okay.
This is you. So everybody that's watched my past, I've done 2 flight sim streams. I'm going to try and do them on a regular basis, just for put the word out there, shits and giggles, right? Everyone has mocked my landing, which some have been. Well, the first one was a little bit iffy. Second one was probably just as iffy, if not worse. Ian, would you like to introduce this clip and what you actually sent to me to say that what we were watching?
Right. So going back to the old flight sim, was it the flight sim 2010 we used to play?
FSX.
Yeah, whatever. So when we used to play that one, we used to be able to set a flight up. We used to be able to fly the flight. You never used to use it because you'd always come in visually, but I used to always use the ILS landing system. I used to be able to tune into the frequency of the ILS, and I used to be able to land it, and it was absolutely beautiful. Come the new flight sim, and bearing in mind, I've got myself a new Xbox, and I've just bought myself a mouse and a keyboard for it to help me. I've just learned how to set up an IFR flight, if that's what you want to call it, using waypoints and what have you.
Yeah.
And I can actually sort of get myself onto the localizer, but I haven't got my head around how to tune into the localizer yet in one of these 320 Neos. So I'm struggling a bit when it comes to my approaches and my landings. So that's my introduction to this video.
Okay.
The fact that I got from Preston to Bournemouth, I tell you, I got from Manchester to Bournemouth is a blessing in itself. So the rest is up to you to decide.
Quick question to be answered by Darren Smith. He says, can I ask a question? I'm in Newquay in 2 weeks' time. Are the museum aircraft visible over the fence? The VC-10 and the BAC-111, you can see them. I think you'd be a bit far away, though, to kind of do anything special with it. But those 2 are visible over the fence. Yeah, I don't think the others are, because they're actually right outside the museum, which unfortunately, like I say, is closed to the public at the minute. So the VC-10 and the 111 you can probably see. Jim, you are very funny. MacJet TV Live says, "Can you show my channel?" And Jim says, "No, they want to keep their viewers." Very good. I like that. Right, let's actually do it. Okay, so you have taken the contact approach into Bournemouth. Let's. Do you know what? I will put the sound on for this because I think the sound also adds a little bit extra. But here's what happened.
Overspeed.
So already overspeeding.
Overspeed.
1,000.
Overspeed.
500. 300.
Here we go. Not even on the wrong way.
121.705 for Airbus 320.
I mean, ATC were fine with it, so I did try to handbrake turn it when I got to end, mate. Oh, honestly,
what got me? What
I should have done is a go around.
What got me was the fact that as soon as you literally bounced it and literally was about to go onto the roof of the plane, it literally gave you the frequency for ground. Oh dear. Let's have a look. Laughing faces from Carl Crawford. Darren Smith asking why it didn't explode because the crash settings were off. Wayne Hartshaw
says, the crash settings were on. I wouldn't have got that far, believe me.
Made Tom's landing look professional, cheeky bugger. But yeah, there you go. So if you ever need to compare my landing to something, there you go. Always good fun. I always enjoy playing Flight Sim with Ian because we always have a good laugh. Laugh doing it. In terms of the Flight Sim, I'm going to end the poll shortly. So if you haven't voted for the plane to see next weekend, do get that in very, very quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to end the poll and you'll have to see me fly the 747, which currently is winning. Right, that is the end of the show. Not quite end of the show, but it's a part of the show now where we start to wrap things up. So, of course, Ian knows how this works. And like the rest of you probably know as well, we do some shout-outs. If anyone has any shout-outs to friends, family, loved ones, etc., get them into the chat. We will show them on screen as we do ours. Ian, take it away.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me on tonight, Tom. It's been an absolute blast, to be quite honest. It's been nice to be sat in the hot seat and put some liveries out there myself for a change instead of watching everybody else's liveries. That was absolutely fantastic, and I would urge anyone who's not done it yet just to do it. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
Get yourself in the hot seat. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good laugh. It really, really is. It's nice watching all the comments coming outside and people mocking you and stuff like that. It's all a bit, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? So
it's good fun. That's why we've got a great community. Yeah, that's why we've got a great community. It's good fun.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. So thanks to you, obviously, Tom. Thanks to everybody who's been commenting tonight on all the different opinions on some of the liveries I chose. And tonight I wanted to not just choose the liveries what I liked, but also choose the liveries what other people haven't, put in the show, because we've seen a lot of liveries in the past, haven't we? Where you see the Smarties livery and you see the Etihad this and the 747s that and all the rest of it. So I tried to steer away from 747s tonight because we've seen so many of them tonight over the past few shows and things like that. So I tried to steer away from them. So anyway, that's by the by. So yeah, thanks to everybody who's been in chat tonight. Thanks to you, Tom. Big shout out to Steve, Serena, and obviously Jack for moderating. Big shout out for Tian, who's sat opposite me staring at me, and Milo for being a circus to where when she needed to be and destroying me tornado. And that's about it. And everybody else who knows me. And everybody who's about to tune into me.
So what?
Yeah, my shopping channel.
Oh, shopping channel. Yeah, you haven't spoken about that yet. Go on, plug your shopping channel. Go on.
I'm not plugging my shopping channel, no. It was just a bit of fun, really, for a few close people and stuff like that. Just for people who are know what I mean. It's just me doing shopping hauls and stuff like that. But it's a bit of fun. So you'd have to honestly, you'd have to Google me on YouTube or whatever it is you have to do and have a look at it. And if you need a recipe for pea soup, go and have a look at my pea soup on YouTube. It's class. Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I think it's just searching your name, isn't it?
Yeah, just search my name up. Yeah, I think it should come up. Yeah.
Well,
There's a picture of me my little logo thing is a back end of a Lancaster bomber.
there you go.
Yeah.
Tian giving you a shout there to go and check out the shopping halls. They are absolutely brilliant. They are fantastic. But yeah, interestingly, Farang Travels is interested as well. Farang Travels says channel name. Literally just search Ian Hartley.
Yeah, it's just under a minute. If we go onto YouTube now, let's have a quick butchers.
Yeah, best thing to do is say how many subscribers you got.
13, I think, last time I looked.
That'll be how people can find it.
Yeah, my channel. I'll click onto my channel. Yeah, I've got 13 subscribers. It's Ian Hartley, and it's back end of it's like I can't really show you. Maybe I can show you. I don't know. Just go and click that.
Back into the Lancaster. Oh, without breaking anything.
Yeah, there's back end of me. If you see that on my webcam thing there. Oh, hang on. That's hang on.
Fishing channel.
Oh no, that's Fish
wrong?
Locker. That's one of the channels I watch. I can't get it bloody up now. Well, what's happening now?
Search for his name, Ian Hartley. There it is.
There it is. That's what me things looks like. Just sit back end of a Lancaster bomber there, Porto. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. So yeah.
Give it a watch. It is honestly some of the best content.
Just don't slag me off or anything like that. It's just a bit of fun.
I know why you've done it. There was somebody that you showed me. There was somebody you showed me. You did a shopping haul, and it was so funny. So I know why you've done it. It's very good. It's very good. Yeah, check him out. Give him a sub. Why not?
Why not? Send me a super chat.
Yeah, send him a super chat. Send him some money.
Whatever. I'm all right.
Send him some money in post. Right. So we can do some more. Carl Crawford says Ian watches the same fishing channel as me.
I do. Fish Locker. I'm a massive fan of Fish Locker. Yeah, he lives down your way, Tom. Actually, he lives in Cornwall. He does a lot of foraging videos, foraging for things like seaweeds and shellfish and whatever in the rock pools at low tide and whatever. He does a lot of fishing.
Yeah, nice one.
Does a lot of lobster pots and stuff like that, and his little boat with his little lad. It's really, really good. Yeah, lovely. I also watch Smash Fishing as well, which is based in Guernsey. If Carl watches that as well.
Lovely. So you're interested in that. There's a couple more names for you. Right. I'll do a very quick shout out to everyone that's watched tonight. Ian, for you for coming and sitting in the hot seat. It's been wonderful. And definitely a lot of fun. It's kind of like tick to gold for me because I've wanted to do this with you for a while. So I'm glad I did next. It was a lot of fun. So shout out to you. Shout out to everyone that's watched, everyone that's commented, everyone that's put their opinions in tonight. I will be back on Saturday. I will need to end the poll actually, which of course we will be flying the 747-8 because go big or go home. Don't know where yet. Yeah, most on the roof probably. But it's been a lot of fun tonight. So next week's show, I'm not sure what we'll do. I'm going to have a think during the week, see what we can do. I've got a brand new outro as well. So enjoy that. Definitely going fresh for 2023. Ian, if you want to say your goodbye to everybody, you have been requested, please, to... Can you sign off with a statement
My
Lovelies?
I mean, I can do a bye my lovelies, but it would have to be. I couldn't do it in a southern accent or anything like that, or I certainly wouldn't do it in a Scottish accent. I'd probably do it in a northern accent. So, bye my lovelies. Stay safe, stay sexy, and until next time, bye.
Oh, do you know who you remind me of then? You remind me of Case cooking. Hi, people, and I'm back cooking again.
Today I'm making a mushroom omelette.
And today I'm making butter pie. Oh dear. Ian, I will talk to you very, very soon.
Right.
And all that is left for me to say is a huge thank you to everybody watching tonight. Thank you for the support going into 2023. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show. If you have, please leave a like. It helps the channel out as well. Even if you want to leave a dislike, believe it or not, helps the channel out even more. And then leave a comment in the chat as well. I don't know, let's say after the video or after the stream is done, put something like, I don't know, pineapple on pizza, yes or no. Just literally put yes or no in the comments. And I will, obviously we know what we're answering, but yeah, pineapple on pizza, yes or no. Chuck it in the comments, not right now, but as in after the stream is done. Anyway, take care, everybody. We'll be back 7:30 p.m. next Sunday for the podcast. Back on Saturday for some more flight sim shenanigans. But for now, enjoy your working week, and I will see you next weekend for some more fun. Take care, everybody. Bye.